idea what happened or how it went down or what the fuck happened. Jesus Christ. Very strange. Either way, I know I'm back on some places, but I bet YouTube made another link. God, I hate YouTube. I think this time it's actually Stream Elements messing up, or Restream messing up. Yeah, I guess I can delete that one forever. Jesus Christ. No wonder the YouTube viewers are fucking tanking and everybody's going somewhere else. Jesus Christ. Subscribers, any duration, save, boom. I don't know. Everything failed, but everything came back except for YouTube. YouTube is a brand new one. Either way. Anyways, what I was saying before everything fucking went to shit, I'm not sure why. Iran does have nuclear weapons. Shane Phillips is the guy's name, not Phelps. That if there was a YouTube dictionary and you looked up 0 to 100, it would absolutely be a video of this. It would be a video that he went from the great Shane Phillips, who is the uncle of the great Olympian swimmer Michael Phillips, the great Shane Phillips. He has evidence of a conference call before the Jeff B debacle. Before the Jeff B debacle, I guess that's the best way to say it. Either way, let me update these. Copy link address. Okay, that's right. Close. Sorry, the last two things I updated didn't save because the shit shut down wrong. Oh, and the music's still on. I got it. Boom. All right, that should be back right again, I guess. I don't know. We also had Relaxley subscribed right before all that went down. It was said, "Prove it." It was his subscription message. All right, everything should be working now, I think. Here we go. Wait, y'all don't have audio, do you? Desktop audio. I'll back up.
Yet you can't get enough of snipping his ass. Shane's so in the fucking know. Oh, yes, he is. Please, come the fuck here. We'll gag it out. Not enough of the fucking bullshit. I heard of the fucking shit was when I got a text messages. As far as any of the other shit, and as far as you, he didn't even...
And then Rhino lied about it. Rhino got a text message that it was all bullshit, and Rhino lied about it.
Laurie, he was in the hospital. He was told 6 fucking times until somebody beat it through his stupid fucking head. So he was in the hospital. First I heard of the fucking shit was when I got a text messages. As far as any of the other shit, and as far as you, he didn't even know Laurie C was in the hospital.
He didn't even know Laurie C was in the hospital.
He was told 6 fucking times until somebody beat it through his stupid fucking head. So, and Tennessee Patriots found a new home. He's found a bunch of new miscreants. And Miss Kimmy Young got
a bunch of new miscreants there. I guess they're talking about Cam's channel. The Tennessee Patriot has found a new home.
Gotta have answers. Then why don't you all take a bus trip to fucking Ohio, hang out with the motherfucker every minute of the fucking day? Who the fuck cares?
Jesus Christ, dude, you gotta chill, man. Everybody's laid back. It's a full moon. You're out here fucking screaming. This is the 3rd stream he's done today. I think the other 2 are like tests or something.
Affects nobody. It affects me no how, no way. It affects nobody, no how in my chat. None of my fucking people knew this shit. So you better start producing proof instead of he said, she said. Oh, Tammy was on the call with Liberty Warrior. Oh, yeah, well, fucking prove some of this bullshit. Christ, Jay.
Yeah, Tammy was on the call with Liberty Warrior. I don't think that's ever been disputed. Liberty Warrior even apologized for the way he acted on that call.
Being a dead piece of dog shit. It's still dog shit and it stinks. Go to wherever Travis is at, go to wherever Jeff's at, and stick your nose up their ass. See if the smell changes any.
Well, I think people are upset with you because you claimed you didn't know it the night of, and you still claim that. But then you found out after your stream, and then you carried on the bullshit for like a week, saying, all I know is what I was told. All you had to do was come out and say, I was told it was all bullshit. I had already called it. It's not even like you would be fucking like breaking this story, or you would be calling it out ahead of other people. I had already called bullshit the moment it happened. As soon as someone said in chat, Jeff B's been shot, I said, bullshit. That was my only response. Bullshit.
It's all fucking bullshit. Y'all can fucking roll over here and ask whatever the fuck you want. Oh, Lily, let's throw her under the bus and all this other shit.
Oh, Lily, let's throw her under the bus. All this other shit.
Oh, make sure you bring Ed and Larry and all them motherfuckers too. I'm about tired of the fucking shit.
Ed and Larry and all the motherfuckers.
Go find something in this country to fucking talk about. Ah! The fucking shit is old. It's stupid. It affects no one.
The fucking shit's old and stupid. It affects no one. No, this is just his claim. So whenever he doesn't want to talk about something, he says it's old, it's stupid, it affects no one. It's old, it's stupid, it's not true. It's old, it's stupid. It did affect people. It's still affecting people. Travis lost all of his viewership. Jeff B's not been back. He's not doing his thing. He's fucking scared to come back to the internet. People are still wondering why you hid the fact for a fucking week while the rest of us were calling it out as bullshit. You know, things like that.
And yet we can't let the motherfucking shit go. Oh, go fucking sell cars. Go fucking hang out and do what the fuck ever.
Oh, man. Go sell cars. Go sell cars! Fucking tired of it. Go sell cars. That's a go-to. Stop talking about it or sell cars, you piece of shit.
Fucking YouTube would be so much better to fuck off for it.
I think most of Rhino's cars come preloaded with a dead dog in the back seat. I'm not sure. I've just heard the one he's currently in. Dead dog in the back seat. Is Jeff B still around? Oh, Bucka, you missed it, bro. Jeff B someone called him out and said, hey, man, I got your discharge paperwork. You're a fucking liar. You never left the United States. All the bullshit you told us about being with the Navy SEALs and being deployed in combat and having Thanksgiving dinner with Bush and all that is bullshit. Then Jeff B said, you don't have my DD-214. Then they brought up his exact entrance date and his exact exit date, which in America is, your discharge paperwork. Jeff B flips out, comes up with a fucking plan with Travis, the drunk guy who shits his pants in the subway. He come up with a plan with Travis. They think it's me that has their paperwork. They think it's me that has the DD-214. So their plan is to fake like Jeff B got shot at an FBI retirement party with multiple other agents being shot, and that I will jump on that and then reveal his DD-214 and they can send me to jail for 20 years or something like that. It didn't work. Needless to say, it didn't fucking work. He has 0 years, 0 months, 0 days of service on foreign soil. He never, ever, ever left the continental United States or Hawaii and Alaska, even sovereign waters. He never went sovereign waters. So this motherfucker lied through his teeth about who he is. And then they decided that they were going to try to get me to reveal that I had his DD-214 or something by saying that he got shot at an FBI retirement party for FBI agents with other agents being shot. And he even come in chat one day and said he wasn't the worst one. Other ones got shot much worse than him. But it didn't make any fucking news. Nowhere on the news. No one talked about it. No one seen it. It wasn't in a fucking paper. There wasn't a Medium article written about it. So immediately someone hopped in my chat and said, oh my God, Travis just said Jeff B's been shot. He's in the hospital being protected, but they will not reveal his location. And I immediately said bullshit. Turns out it was bullshit. And then Rhino covered for him for a week.
Well, I like to know how he's not so much in the fucking know. He's known it for 20 some years. Ain't said shit. Now all of a sudden he can't. He's just got his new side fucking kid. They got each other's nose stuck up each other's bunghole. Woo! Fuck all that bullshit. You can take your pile of shit, take it the back fuck over there, and put it where it belongs.
Oh no.
And we didn't hide nowhere. We had shows after that.
There was nothing in the papers. That's exactly right, Jim.
Fucking night. Didn't say shit about the goddamn thing. Didn't say shit about none of the fucking bullshit.
That's exactly right, Al. Someone who lies so much they almost start to believe their own lies. Like deep down, they know it's bullshit, but they've told the lie so many times it just rolls off like a memory. In all honesty, I bet he's even lying to his fucking mom he still lives with. You ever notice that the ones who are all bragging about who they are and what they were, Derek Johnson and Jeff B, still live with their mothers?
It's not our job. We didn't put it out, so I don't give a flying fuck. That makes us a bad guy too fucking bad.
This is a local soda. It's called Dr. Enough, ENUF. It's DR, period, like short for doctor. Then Enough, ENUF. It's only an East Tennessee thing. It's an East Tennessee soda, and this is the herbal version. So there's a green version that's like citrusy, kind of like a Sprite or 7-Up. They're really good. This is the herbal version, so it's the same thing, but it has cherry flavor mixed into it. It's the only cherry drink I like. But I was raised on Dr. Enough. It's like a local soda. Well, Mountain Dew was made here in Johnson City too, but Mountain Dew exploded nationwide. Dr. Enough is only here locally. I think you get it in like Southwest Virginia, Western North Carolina, but it used to just be like the Tri-Cities is the only place you could get it. It's good though.
What's up, Anthony? Well, it's like something that doesn't affect you, yet you wake up in the morning and, oh my God, a certain person in Florida. Oh, I need answers. I can't go to work unless I have answers.
I can't go to work unless I have answers. I can't go. Sell a fucking car. Who is a car? Is someone a car salesman? Is that why he yelled that earlier? Why did he yell, go sell fucking cars? Why did he yell, go sell fucking cars? A late one? Yeah, those are pretty good. I've had those. Is a Dublin Dr. Pepper like a Cleveland Steamer or a Tennessee Log Jammer? Is that one of those weird sex moves?
Oh my God, whoop-de fucking doodles. They pulled a fuck one. And for lack of a better word, they pulled a fucking fast one. Did they come out and say it? No, they didn't, but oh well.
Wait a second. What'd you say the first time?
They pulled a fuck one.
They pulled a fucklin. They pulled a fucklin. What did they do to you? They lied. They pulled a fucklin. They pulled a fucklin. It's kind of like a suckling, but there's a penis involved, so it's a fucklin.
And for lack of a better word, they pulled a fucking fast one. Did they come out and say it? No, they didn't. But oh well, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares at this fucking point? Let's keep.
They pulled a fucklin. I'm gonna add that to Webster's Wikipedia. Pulling a fucklin.
It's death. It'll just get better. Oh, there's such a conspiracy. Show me the fucking conference call, motherfucker.
Show me the conference call, motherfucker. He's gonna have. Now imagine like a 300-pound man that's melted and poured into the front seat of a Kia he's also living in with a large dog. It looks like he's wearing a T-shirt car. And he's sitting there at the dash behind the windshield, parked in a Walmart parking lot, screaming at the fucking phone. It all gets better. It all gets better. It just, the ball is rolling uphill.
Tell me that I have fucking advanced knowledge of any of this fucking shit. Prove it. Prove it. You won't, because you can't. We didn't go hide fucking nowhere.
Who went? So no one said anything about hiding. He said he didn't go hide nowhere. Travis and Jeff went into hiding. I don't think either one of them's there.
It's an incident that's 2 months fucking old that was stupid as shit.
He can't let it go, boys. He can't let it go. I don't know why he doesn't understand if he didn't address it and have these rants and raves and meltdowns, no one else would address it.
It doesn't apply to anybody. The motherfucker doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, X22 is kind of like an enigma. Of course, all his stuff is bullshit. It's hard to find much about his background or who he is. He doesn't make a whole lot of claims about being something special, at least that I've seen, and I haven't watched all his shows. Tori is an easy one. She lies about all of her background, and she used to lie and say she had a fucking Purple Heart and shit. But she's an easy one to bust on. Phil's an easy one to bust on. X22 takes a little more delicate. Like, you can take apart all the stuff he claims because it's all bullshit. But it's harder to show people that, like, he's a lifelong fucking criminal or scammer or whatever like the others.
Me or anybody else could give a fucking rat's ass. Don't have a hard on. Don't think about him. Don't
give a rat's ass. Don't have a hard on.
It doesn't apply to anybody. The motherfucker doesn't mean shit to me or anybody else. Could give a fucking rat's ass. Don't have a hard on. Don't think about him. Don't give a rat's ass what he does during the day. Yet.
I just want you guys to know that is the sound that Rhino makes when he has an orgasm. That's why he's only ever met his wife once. He's like, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Yeah. That's how he finishes. And then he said, you ready for a round two? I'm ready to start a fuckling.
So take your pile of shit and put it back the fuck over there. I will tell you again that you're all fucking bullshit. Prove that there was a fucking conference call and my ass was on it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it beyond a fucking reasonable doubt. If not, stick it up your ass.
The reason Rhino doesn't want to start fucking with me is I've got the recordings where he called me and told me all the dirt on Travis and all the people around him. People in his own fucking chat. People he calls friends now. People he tries to fucking buddy up with. Plus, he doesn't want my audience there. If my audience shows up and it's like more than like one or two people, let's say it's 10 people from my audience, you might as well shut down your fucking show. You fucked up. Just issue a public apology and back away. Back away from the internet. That's the best thing you could do. But to try to fight them and ban them and get rid of them or argue with them, it's not going to work. You're done for. You're out of there. By the way, we've been, I didn't say this earlier. If you want to support the stream, go to coldbeer.fun. The best thing you can do is like, share, comment. But I'm also on a really big push for all of these links up here. So just under the support the Cold Beer Confessional on coldbeer.fund is my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, and Discord. I need people to follow those links because I disappear all the time. I get banned and shit. We're on a really big push for Discord. I got to set up the bot. Somebody reminded me of that, where when you put Discord in chat, it gives you a link. But I got to set up that bot again. The reason we're pushing Discord so hard is because it's better than Telegram with less fucking crazies that we have to worry about. And we're going to start doing community streams. So tomorrow, I think, we're going to have a community video stream where anybody can hop up. You can ask questions. You can be in audio. You can text in the chat. We're going to try to do that tomorrow for maybe an hour or two. If you got any questions, if you have anything to ask me, if you want to say something to me, all that be tomorrow on the Discord channel, okay? I'm not going to like cover something you're going to miss if you don't use Discord. That's fine. But if you want to be part of Discord, want to be like involved with the community, I'm going to be on Discord tomorrow live, trying to get some more people to sign up for Discord and trying to do like a community thing over there. I want to kind of strengthen the community a little bit and maybe have like some calls back and some ties to hangouts. We'll probably do movie nights and shit, all that over there on Discord. I don't think the bot works anymore, but I need to fix it. Yeah, it does not, but I'll fix it right now.
Whatever else. The fucking shit is all fucking bullshit.
So now he's just rambling so whatever else. The fuckling shit is all just fuckling bullshit. Fucklers. He's just rambling to himself. Who knows? Who knows what it is or what's going on? Nobody really. So there's that. Okay, there's the Discord command. Does this link work still? Let's see. Copy. I might have to add a new link to it. I'm trying to get the Discord command working. Okay, it might actually work. So, let's try that. And I will save that. And then somebody try putting an exclamation point Discord. There it is. Okay, and that link may or may not work. I hope it works. But if it's not working, I'll replace it. Just somebody let me know.
But, you know.
Bunch of fucklers.
In the meantime, we're blowing the fuck out of the country. We got nuclear war about...
That would be interesting if Rhino and Tom Numbers did a show together. I would like to just see a show of Rhino proving that he knows numbers. Just proving that he knows numbers. Any numbers. Just any of them, like 7 and 13 and 4. Just randomly. Does he know any numbers? Has he ever... Has he ever fucked around with any numbers? It's not going to work on... the Discord command's not going to work on Rumble. The commands don't work over there. Somebody just have to send you the link on Rumble.
Ready to happen fucking everywhere because, well, we're going to prevent the Iranians from having nuclear bomb. Well, sorry, you're a little late to the game for that, dickhead, because Barack's already made sure that they had one. They got more than one. They got about 8 of them. So yeah, Israel better think twice about going after fucking Iran.
Oh, no. Obama did it. Thanks a lot, Obama.
What's up, Mary?
Now he's going to cough for 10 minutes. This should be fun.
Well, I just think it's funny that somebody had all this knowledge all this time, month and a half, 2 months fucking later, all of a sudden, all this shit.
We'll probably also be adding some new moderators soon. I don't have a whole lot of YouTube moderators. I don't have a whole lot of moderators for any platform, but especially when I broadcast to multiple platforms, they're kind of stretched pretty thin. So I'll probably be adding some new moderators soon as well.
Just coming out from the great Shane Phelps. Why? Did the fucking alcoholic fog wear the fuck off? I'm going to call fucking shit what it is shit.
Oh, no. Did he come out and call Shane an alcoholic? Hold on. I missed that part.
Well, I just think it's funny that somebody had all this knowledge all this time, month and a half, 2 months fucking later, all of a sudden, all this shit just coming out from the great Shane Phelps. Why? Did the fucking alcoholic fog wear the fuck off? I'm going to call.
Did the fucking alcoholic something wear the fuck up? What? Hold on.
2 months fucking later, all of a sudden, all this shit just coming out from the great Shane Phelps. Why? Did the fucking alcoholic fog wear the fuck off?
Oh, the alcoholic fog. Did the alcoholic fog just wear off? Did the alcoholic fog did he just do a line? He got strangled on a line. Jesus Christ, calm down, brother. I did just drop the link there for Discord. If you're already a Patreon member, you'll already be involved in those groups on Discord when you join, as long as you link your Discord and Patreon emails together. But there's also a Phil chat. There's a Derek Johnson chat. There's a chat just for memes. There's a chat for self-promotion. If you make videos and you want to put them in there and want people to see them, I try to go through there and watch anybody that does self-promotion stuff. There are some other chats you probably can't see. There's stuff. There's a room called the Confessional, and that includes stuff like, here's questions for our guest. If we have a guest on, we used to do that a lot. Show links. So if someone's like, send me that link, I want that video or article or whatever, I usually drop the show links there. And if you want me to cover something, you can put show links there. We have a place to keep all the live channels. If somebody's live, you can drop the links there and we go troll people. If we want to get a troll party together, we used to do it quite a bit.
I'm going to call fucking shit what it is shit, because I don't give a fucking rat's ass at this point. Beating a dead fucking animal.
I don't give a rabbit's ass. You're beating a dead animal. Didn't you beat an animal to death, though? Is that the difference? One person's beating a dead animal and you beat a dead animal to death. Is that what happened? That dog? Or was that something? I apologize. I may have misunderstood that.
What it is. Leave the fucking shit go.
Yeah, I've asked Intel Lady on before. It's hard to... So she's got a normal human schedule, and she lives in the UK, and I've got a third shift American schedule, so it's not easy to time it out right, but I can have Intel Lady on for sure. It would probably be a show that like started at like 6 p.m. though.
Oh, you gotta find out. Yeah. Take a bus trip. Take a.
I'm still pretty close with Intel Lady. M Seeker, kind of does his own thing. Justice, I very rarely talk to anymore. Tony kind of disappeared. I don't talk to him anymore. He kind of disappeared and called us all out, I guess. But I'm still close with the Intel Lady.
Fucking bus trip so you can stick your nose up his ass and see how it smells every minute of the day.
Every minute of the day, smell his asshole. Somebody just followed the channel, and his name is the Antichrist, like Annie up. Like if you're playing poker, not anti, it's the Antichrist. I like that name. That's a very good name.
So worried about the fucking individual.
Oh, we don't hear much from Justice. He's expected. Oh, cool. I didn't even know that, to be honest with you. I would see him mostly on Twitter.
That's just like, the other night I was playing nice. You know what? You want to call my wife a streetwalker and all that other shit?
What? Somebody called your wife a streetwalker? That would be extremely sad and maybe even cross the line had you not said that you were going to chain my family in my home and force me to watch you burn them alive. Like if anybody stepped over the line, it was you dumb fuck.
Well, your wife sucks off every doctor in the fucking hospital.
Oh, yeah. She likes doctor jizz.
Sucks condoms out the trash can and everything else. You sure all
she sucks on condoms right out of the trash can. She's like, who left these really long, skinny party balloons over here? I'm just going to suck on them. She's like a... She just sits in the trash can sucking on condoms because she's disgusting. You get it?
Kids are yours? Probably not. Probably some fucking much better looking fucking doctor. You want to step and play, fucker? I can play too. You want to fucking disparage?
He is. He's like a kid who just learned insults in middle school. Oh, yeah? Well, your girlfriend likes semen. And I don't mean on a Navy ship, okay? I don't know if you guys remember. He also said he couldn't wait for my family to get hit by a tornado / hurricane / natural disaster, and then he was going to be there to piss on my children. He was going to piss on my children.
It's my wife because she's from a third world country. Go fuck yourself. I hope you don't sell a motherfucking car. I hope they bounce your ass right out of that dealership so fast it makes your head fucking spin. Or better yet, go take some flight lessons.
There you go. Go become a pilot, you piece of shit.
You want to play fucking games? I can call the same shit as you. You sure they're not the Domino's kids?
The Domino's kids.
Shit gets to be...
What?
You want to play fucking games? I can call the same shit as you. You sure they're not the Domino's kids?
I mean, but he has kids, right? You married a mail order bride that came with a kid. He was telling the story one time, And like, I wouldn't make fun of this if I thought it was true. But okay, so a natural disaster hit the Philippines, which is where his wife lives, that he's married 3 years ago, but the last time he saw her was 3.5 years ago. Really weird. And she's got a kid. And Rhino claims that she has a kid. First of all, I don't even know that to be true. But Rhino claims that the kid brags about Rhino saying, my daddy big American. He fly on metal bird into Philippines. He send us many greenbacks. Like, for some reason, this kid talks like a caveman when Rhino does it. He sends us many greenbacks. He make fire water come from the sky. Like, it's very weird. Very weird. It's a mix. He's been talking about Shane and Cam and I guess Tammy and Jeff B and Travis, I guess.
Shit gets to be fucking stupid after a while. Pick a new fucking topic and move the fuck on.
Big American daddy coming metal bird. Rescue mother, rescue son. We go America.
What's up, Anthony?
Back to the noise. What? What's up, Anthony? Sorry, I had to break the sign. If Rhino doesn't have adult onset ADHD, then ADHD doesn't exist. You guys remember when he'd be on Travis's show and he'd be like, but me and my sister, Lori are in the back seat and she doesn't want me sticking my hot dog in her donut hole. Then everybody's like, why are you doing a kid's voice and making weird fucking sexual allegations? And he just kept doing it. And Travis would be like, that's my backseat kids. They get on my nerves. Big American dad, come on, metal bird. He stops tsunami.
Well, I'm sure they get it now, but that's all right. I'm done with it. I can care less. Go back to their side of the house. They can have it back.
God damn it. You've been done with it 150 times, my man. You ain't done with it.
I'm done with it. I could care less what.
You can't set it down for picking it up too goddamn much.
Fucking falls out of it.
And Mr. Shane Phillips.
Exactly. I didn't call his wife shit, but I just did now. So, well, too bad.
You said you were going to burn my family alive. So, cheers. Let me tell you what actually set him off the first time. So he was talking about doing a GoFundMe for his wife, but he was really secretive about it. He didn't want to give her name. He didn't want to do nothing. He didn't want to do anything like that. Travis was raising money. Liberty Warrior was raising money for a natural disaster. It hit the Philippines, which was where he claimed his wife was, and he hadn't seen her in 3.5 years, but they had been married for 3 years, which sounds sketchy to begin with, right? How did they get married without seeing each other? But because he was so like sketchy with the details, people wanted to see that he really had a wife. So they found her on the internet, and she's a Filipino woman. I don't know much about her, but she's a Filipino woman. Somebody on Facebook took her profile picture and her name and made a YouTube account with it. And then was like, Rhino, why you never come see me? Why didn't you send the GoFundMe money? You drank it all away, or you pissed it all away, like making jokes about Rhino. He had a fucking meltdown. He thought it was me, first of all, and it wasn't. I just get blamed for everything. And that's when he started saying that he was going to come to Tennessee. He was going to chain my family in our home. He was going to burn it to the ground and make me watch, and that nobody could stop, like all these crazy threats. And I just sat back and laughed because he's an idiot. I did report it to the police just because in case something ever does happen, I don't have to take care. There'll be less paperwork when I fucking kill somebody. But I just sat back and laughed about it. Well, then finally, my channel got reported by some people from Travis's channel. It was actually that guy was on there the other day, Texas Glory Hole or whatever his name is. He reported my channel. He was in the chat and said, I reported it and I'm glad, some shit like that. And my channel got reported and taken down. So I went to Travis's channel because they were talking about they don't report channels. They claim they don't make threats. They don't talk shit about people. And they were calling me out. So I went over there and I was like, well, first of all, somebody just said he reported my fucking channel in the chat. Second of all, you're a fucking piece of shit. Third of all, Rhino said this. Like, what do you mean you don't make threats? He said he was going to burn my house down with my family chained inside and force me to watch. Then they started backtracking everything. Rhino did this bullshit ass apology about something. But I never really did anything but laugh.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Kathy H. That's when Kathy H. is the only time Kathy H. tried to talk to me. And I told her to shut her fucking mouth. She wasn't part of this. That's the only engagement I've ever had with Kathy H., even though she claims I stalk her and chase her and all these things.
All this information. It sat on it for 2.5 months. Ooh, now all of a sudden he's got the great sharp as attack memory. Mm-hmm. Pretty fucking funny.
Now he's got this sharp as attack memory. Didn't she, Atsuko? I've never heard Kathy H. shut up so fucking fast. Like, you could tell I put some fear into her. I don't often raise my voice. I do a lot. I don't often get upset about stuff on the internet. In real life, I get upset about stuff all the time, but internet's kind of internet. If I raise my voice, it's usually for a joke. Like, I scream into the mic because they're screaming into the mic or something like that. But that night, I was pretty fucking mad when Kathy tried to butt in.
Whatever. Done with the shit. Said my piece. Exactly. We're not a fucking gnat's butt. What's up, David Ed?
Who cares about all that shit? All of our channels are so small, nobody gives a fuck.
How'd you like the makeup job I had the other day on TikTok? Ooh. I think they went a little overboard. Yeah. What's up, Joey? Welcome, welcome. Woo-hoo. We still got trains falling off the track like there ain't no tomorrow. It's just amazing. I don't know if there's more now than there was, or it's the same amount and we're just paying more attention to them, but it's something ridiculous.
This is who we're talking about. This is him in his car. Hump day. You guys remember those commercials with the camel or whatever? That's our boy.
What's up, Vicky? Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, I finally got my avatar fixed.
Because I'm a dick.
Damn, that sounded really loud. Bucka 2.0, bunch of 3 6-packs. Thank you, Bucka. Bucka is back, guys, in case you missed it. And he came back in. He's part of Patreon, too, so you'll see him over there at the Patreon shows and when he's available. Let's see. We've got a dono clip I'm going to play. This is from Ramesh. Ramesh, longtime enemy of the stream. It seems like he left us a dono clip. Let's see what this is about.
Wilbur, this is Ramesh. How dare you animals make fun of multi-millionaire Philip Godlewski, you molasses.
Molasses? How come you animals make fun of multi-millionaire Philip Godlewski? One more time.
Wilbur, this is Ramesh. How dare you animals make fun of multi-millionaire Philip Godlewski, you molasses.
Molasses. Thank you very much, Ramesh. What? Damn it, I was just going to say. Oh, that's Dono clip if you want to use it. I was just going to say something. I forgot what it was. That's fine. I'll remember it in a minute. We've got don't forget, we got the fundraiser stream tomorrow. I'll be setting all that stuff up in the Molinaire. I'll be setting all that stuff up in the morning. Tomorrow is the charity stream for the charity that does suicide awareness and prevention. Is called Hope for the Day. Hope for the Day, and it is tomorrow. I actually got the Bean Boozled things in. I think I'm actually going to have 2 packs now because I had to order another pack because one pack got lost, but then it delivered. So we'll just see what's going on there. But
don't know how I got messed up, but somehow it did.
0 to 100, huh, Rhino?
Still probably get you some cheetah legs there, Laurie. So let me see what else was in the news today.
I don't understand. Like, I get during COVID, people needed a place to hang out. People felt like they were locked up, like cabin fever kind of deal, all that shit. Oh, I know what I was going to say now. A lot of people asked me for a dono stream to make the option to where you can flip the camera around because they were having trouble recording themselves or recording something that they wanted to put in the video. It's fixed. You can change the camera now. I reminded them today in a post on their Discord that, hey, can you guys add this feature? I've heard it a couple times from people donating to me, and they said we added it yesterday. So apparently yesterday it went through, and that's fixed. Anyways, what I was saying before, I get that, like, during COVID, like, people got, like, cabin fever. People were, like, stuck in their homes, and they needed something. They wanted to hang out with people. But now, I mean, like, you can legitimately go out now. I guess the issue is why do people just sit in a stream that has no point? What else we talk about today? Somebody say something in chat, and then I'll yell about it. Sell some fucking cars! What else is in the news? Doo-doo-doo. Let me just Google news. Doo-doo-doo. Like, it has no point. It's going nowhere. It's just one person hanging out, and anybody else can come hang out. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. Like, that would be awesome for a Discord server. Like, if you had a Discord server, we have a room called Hangout. You could go in it right now on Discord and just click on it. It's voice chat. It's text chat. You could just hang out, and it's like, you know, it's just like hanging out because you're bored. But, like, to publish a show to YouTube of just like, meh, what else is going on? I don't know. What you guys been up to? What's everybody been doing? I don't know what's going on. What can we do now? What's this? What else is in the doo-doo-doo? Like, I don't get why people keep coming back to a channel like this.
No, they're working on it. Trying to catch you cheat is not the easiest thing, though. They kind of don't like it when their legs taken. Well, realistically, if that's the worst case scenario, I think we'll take it. If that's the worst case scenario, personally, I think we'll take it. White Shark Taylor will take it.
White Sharpay? Is that what you said? White Sharpay will take it. Is that what you call yourself? This is the man who prays to, instead of praying to God, he prays to the great white wolf of the heavens, that wolf will howl his prayers unto his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints or something.
Like a mad dog. Hope not, because then it's going to be hot. Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
There's a burp, in case you missed that one.
Snow in there. Oof. Can do without that.
Damn.
Thought he got booted off of YouTube. But
I thought that was Mike Penny. Area 111 came on last night. I think Area 111 is RH, right? If you guys, I wouldn't torture you. Occasionally we'll cover something RH says just because it's mind-blowing. But there is no way we could sit through an RH show. This guy is the most droning. Have you ever seen Family Guy? Where they're like, you're more of a buzzkill than Buzz Killington. And the guy's like, who wants to hear a good yarn about a bridge? Like, he talked about it. RH is the worst person in the world to listen to. It's so monotone. It's so unentertaining. There's no inflection in his voice. He just reads stuff. It's like, that's what I think about that. And I think that if you do this, and I read Department of Homeland Security issue number 111, and I think that this happened. And if you don't think that, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm so mad at Will Bard because he's a Satanist and he runs around with his sunglasses on and he's just always yelling at people. And I just don't think, like, the guy doesn't have anything. Anything. Still better than Phil Doe. You're right, Antichrist. I love your name, by the way.
Yo, with RH. Hope he's doing well.
I'm shooting ahead, by the way, in case you wonder what I'm doing. Any more freakouts? I might just have to jump.
I'd like to know why they're still grilling Fauci.
Fauci's dad. Remember, I know you told us that. RH is like human Morse code. It's like English Morse code. It's just plain text.
Yeah.
Like, it would be great white noise, maybe. Like, if you never focused on any of the words, maybe you just hummed, and while he was saying shit, you'd probably go to sleep in no time. God, stop belching, dude. I wonder whose free Wi-Fi he's using.
1099 or something. Huh?
1099, hold on.
9 more boxes came out on Biden today in his Boston office. You know. Mac knife, flavor 6. Damn, they charge you $6 for a fillet up there? Holy shit. God damn. Yeah, that's about right, because they're almost $5. Yeah, that's about right. Unbelievable.
God damn, dude.
These chicken tenders. Oh, that's like a damn. Phew.
No more screams, no more yelling.
Exactly.
God, this guy's a trip. I wish I knew what video he prayed to the white wolf on. Oh, great and powerful, majestic white wolf of the heavens, hear our prayers. Howl them unto the Lord, white wolf.
He's wearing high heels.
You and Mrs. White Wolf.
Told Mitch not to wear the Jimmy shoes. The wall.
Is Rising going to trigger him or no? Lori C seems to be doing better. She's in chat.
He's wearing high heels. But you know. Oh, and see some of the fucking shit that goes on at these parties. It's got to be.
Entire internet printed. He's a real life Wayback Machine. That's true. He's afraid the CIA. Do you guys remember when Ryan Upchurch was spun out and was clicking on the wrong address on Google Maps and saying that Google was changing it and he had to stop broadcasting because they were watching his video and changing the maps?
You know, let's see what the Caribbean's doing for the weekend.
I didn't want to acknowledge the pig. I'm glad Lori C's back too. I don't want nobody to die. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about health and stuff, it did look like my dad's toe was a little bit better today. We went over it. I repacked the wound or whatever, and it does look like it's healing some. Lori C says, I mean, I burp too loud sometimes, but my Lord. Rhino, why you burping into the microphone, bro? The dog is staying. Stop it. That's funny.
Whatever. You know.
Lori C says, I have never heard a person burp as much as you, Rhino. Just saying. Damn, dude. Damn. Thank you, AL or Al. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, the Ronnie's got to be, the large animal's got to put out a lot of air. Got to put out a lot of volume of air.
Did he just name himself Rhino? Like he just randomly started when he started his channel. Before that, everybody called him David.
Might come about. Might come about. Okay, that's what you want.
He needs some of that damn tribal insurance, that's for sure. You know, I tried to I tried to sign up for that tribal insurance, and they kept asking me what my PMM was. And I was like, you mean like my PCP, like primary care physician? And they're like, no, you're PMM. And I'm like, what the fuck is this going on? I had to contact Phil. He was able to clear it up to a text message. I said, I'm trying to sign up for your tribal insurance, and they keep asking me who my PMM is. And he said, that's your primary medicine man. And you have to check in with him once every other full moon. And if you don't, they can let you go. So that was pretty confusing from the get-go. Drug me around by my headband, said I wasn't a kind. Because I'm an Indian outlaw.
8 of them, asshole. So what is this real going to strike a random do?
What? Wait.
Ain't nothing happening.
Don here, and Don says, hit girl, yes, hang on. At David, that's bees. You watch too much mainstream media. That's not true. Oh, no. What did Rhino say? Here we go. Don is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week drunk for years. Travis told me he was celebrating the birth of his grandson. That means his grandson has to be like 34. Like, he's drunk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will come on panel drunk as fuck. He's the guy who passed out on Travis's show, and they legitimately thought he was dead for a while.
I don't watch mainstream media. Ain't nothing happening. That's just like you got Lloyd dumbass Austin trying to play off like Iran doesn't have nuclear bombs. They got 8 of them, asshole. So what is this real going to strike Iran to do? Nothing.
Okay.
Start a nuclear fucking conflict. Because you goddamn right that the Iranians are going to nuke the fuck out of Israel. And if they're going to be able to play that fucking stupid, if I know it, why the fuck doesn't he? Oh, okay. Just like J6. Who the fuck's running the country or the show? All the shit from J6 would be immediately overturned. All sentences fucking null and void. Any of that shit, but that'll never happen. So
Rhino loves to perpetuate the Trump is still in charge myth while also denying it, saying, well, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. No one can prove this. But he was also telling people to get ready for their St. Germain trust deposit and that he had done all the research. He's talked about the Vatican gold. Like, he loves to put it out there, and then he loves to backtrack on it and yell at other people for putting it out there. It's really weird.
They can show video.
Part Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby, she's a Chippewa law. Is that when he knocked himself out? Well, so basically what happened is he was streaming with a beer, right? And all you could see was his hand and the other side of the recliner. And he just slowly started going forward ever so much. And then like the arm of the recliner disappeared. So he had to be like way out there. And he had his phone in his other hand, like sitting beside him like this, sideways. And eventually he just tipped over and was just out. And they were making jokes about it at first, but it was probably like 40 minutes later. And they're like, should someone really check on Don? and someone else is like, I think I hear him breathing. I'm not sure.
By email, supposedly Tucker can't stand his ass.
And Travis's dumb ass could have just taken him off panel. He could have just sent him to backstage. He didn't.
Who the hell knows?
You think his exhaust is getting in the car? He's got a leak? This is about over.
Not flying anywhere, Don. Okay, J6. Okay. Why the fucking shit immediately over fucking turn? If your boy's got the power, the White Hat's in fucking command.
David, where did you get that BS news then?
California still got dangerous chemicals waiting to be blown the fuck up. Not been moved, not been secured, not been offloaded, not doing shit.
Yeah, well, Travis was super shit-faced too, but yes, the chat was more worried. That's when I said, is somebody going to check on Don? and I called him Otis Campbell. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Andy Griffith Show. Some of you all have, I'm sure. There's too many people in here to not. But Otis Campbell's like the town drunk. I called him Otis Campbell, and he's like, really? Really? He's celebrating the birth of his grandkid. And I said, well, I'd like to wish him a happy 34th birthday because that's how long he's been fucking drunk. And then Travis banned me and then claims he doesn't ban people.
Tell me.
I'll be right back. I got to make sure the dryer's still running. You guys can chill with Rhino.
Fucking flat out lying. Oh, we got to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. Hello, fuckhead. News to Lloyd Austin. They have fucking not one, not two, but 8 of them, asshole. That's why they were pissed off about General Soleimani getting killed. Woo! Who's shitting himself? I don't see anybody shitting themselves. Only one I see getting fucked up is Johnny Q. Citizen.
I'm back.
Waking a normie up. How are you going to wake a normie up if you don't show him nothing? There's nothing to fucking show him. They haven't showed nobody nothing.
I like that crazy lady that finally put Book Girl in her place. She is clearly the constitutional school expert.
I'm about as woke as can be, and I don't see a fucking thing going on.
It's about fucking time. Somebody took her down a couple pegs.
I wouldn't lay 50 cents on none of this shit going down. You know where Benjamin's at, Vicky?
I just want to see what Don says back. Yes, and many more. I bet you all you're a motorcycle. It's happening. Why do you think they are shitting themselves right now? The only person we've got proof that shit himself is Travis. He shit all over himself in the subway in D.C. Foster Brooks.
Probably be shaking.
Alpha Omega used to be over here every once in a while. I probably said something I didn't like about Trump.
Well,
That's so. I've got to be. I should, if I wanted to keep my following, I should be really careful what I say about Trump, because a lot of people hate certain QAnon stuff, believe certain QAnon stuff, and they all really like Trump. I'm not saying you can't like Trump. I'm just saying we have to be realistic, right? He's not God. He's not never. It's not that he's never done anything wrong. He's made mistakes, just like everybody has. The worship is what kills me. I don't care if you like Trump or not. The worship of anybody is what bothers me. We're skipping through to the end. Good video, Rhino. I appreciate that. I think we got the applause button back. Hold on. You guys hear that?
This came from companies.
Don is compromised. Oh, no. Come to your own conclusions. Just sharing information. Do with it what you will. We are on a full-blown bolo. Be on the lookout for Jeff B. If he's on any fucking panel, if he's on any fucking show, somebody get me the link. If you have to call my personal cell phone, get me the link while it's live, or at least a replay. Don't call me for a replay, but if it's live, call me. Rhino also claims that when he was in the Marine Corps, so everybody was telling Rhino never deployed, like he was a peacetime service, and that's fine. A lot of people were in the service during peacetime. But people were telling war stories one time, and Jeff B made one up, and RH told one that was boring as fuck, and I think Don told one or something. And then Rhino felt like he's a one-upper type guy. So he told everybody that one day he was flying around in a helicopter with the Marines, and they made a hard right turn, and he fell out of the helicopter and was dangling down below it. And instead of someone retrieving him with the harness he was wearing, they just flipped the helicopter over to the other side and flipped him back into it. Like he was one of those balls and cup where you like swing the ball on the string and catch it with a cup. Denise Dopey Dugan. D3. I like that. Oh, no. You emailed him again? Jesus. They're going to get you. So you know what snitches get, right? Book girl?
Don't until it stops pouring down rain.
Don is compromised. By whom? Don is repackaged communism through and through. And Jeff B jumped out of a plane and saved him, and they kissed passionately under the chopper. There you go. By your so-called truthers. Ooh, Don. Come back at her. Get her.
Stop, don't hear. Stop. See you all tomorrow on the marvelous Friday Frolic. Friday Frolic. Safety best. Anybody needs prayers? We send out prayers.
Don, say something. Get her. Damn it, Don, you better get her. She said you're compromised. Fuck. Man, I really did want to see that. I really did want to see that, but it doesn't look like we're going to get to. That's okay. All right, let's see what we got over here. First of all, I want to show you guys this post. So let me grab it, and I'll just screen grab it. Hold on just a second. Damn, people unfriending me on Facebook. Let me screen grab this post. It's the one I read at the first from Phil's chat, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. Function in. Open with. Let's just open it with Paint. Okay, here's the post. Now, you guys kind of help me figure out what this is about. It says, at Phil Godlewski, urgent, Phil, boom, 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 boom. Can you speak to the comments Kash Patel made on his interview on this very concerning to me? It was forwarded from Revolution Report. I think it's Will Bird. So are they saying that I'm Revolution Report? Or that I'm Kash Patel? Or that maybe I'm Tim Pool? Because it's from the Timcast. Timcast of Kash Patel, March 7, 2023. Quote, there is no actual remedy, even if you prove it in a court of law. There is no remedy. People, for the first 6 months after Donald Trump lost, were saying, okay, he's going to be back in office. Under what constitutional method is that going to fucking happen ever? There is no mechanism to do that. That's the same thing I've been saying for a long time, but that doesn't mean that I'm Kash Patel, or that doesn't mean that I'm Tim Pool or Revolution Report. But there isn't. There is no, like, you have, the Constitution says you have until the 20th. I'm sorry, you have until electors cast, the electors vote, January 6th. You have until electors vote to dispute anything, right? To change anything, to file any court injunctions, to have any decisions made, to have anything. After that, you're kind of just screwed. After the 20th, everything's through. It's done. It's over. But Kash Patel said this and now has Phil's fans going wild. So we're going to go over there and see what come of this. Oh, chat muted for the night. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see what this says. It says the 10 Amendments. Okay. We've already read those. Then he says, mod, reminder, Telegram links and voice recordings are not allowed in this chat. So someone said, join, share at QAnon, join Nasara Gasara Secrets, join Real SGAnon, and then it shows 2 voice recordings. All you have to do is turn that off, dumbass. All you have to do is turn off that they can't make voice recordings. You and your mods would still be able to, but they whatever. Then he says, reminder, Telegram links and voice recordings are not allowed in this chat. The attached photos give you example of links and voice recordings I'm referring to. During the bot cleanup, having Telegram link in your post puts you at risk for being mistaken as a bot posting spam. It is impossible for us to review every post. Then he says, hey guys, and it says owner. And then Godlewski group chat says, hey, and it says OG mod. And then Godlewski group chat says howdy, and it says senior mod, and it says muted while I clean up. It says admin. Mod, is it Phil or a fake? When Phil posts, it shows owner, or for some people, it shows admin in the top right corner as shown in the pic attached to this post. When a moderator posts, their tag will say OG mod or senior mod. Ooh, man. It's amazing. Fucking idiots. Facts. He shares all his links again and says chat muted for the night. Why did he mute his chat? Could he not answer the Cash Patel question? So they were doing a bunch of gematria around it. There's this one. I don't think anybody ever replied to it. The post that I'm showing on the screen is what I'm looking at. I don't know if anybody... Let me scroll through and see if anybody replied to this. What's it start with? It starts with @PhilGodlewski, so it'll be a tag in their reply. I still haven't learned if there's a good way to search replies or not. All you Chip Lit Fam 17, be careful. He is working with Global FChainOnline.co and is helping sell XRP and XLM, but then scammed me out of over $80,000. Don't believe what they tell you. You will never be able to withdraw your money. Find a different company and wallet if you purchase any. I've never heard of that, but okay. I'm encouraged to avoid political posts, but I got brave and made a post on Facebook yesterday about the J6 video. Did they get off before anyone got there to investigate? I think. Did they get off before anybody did they get off before anyone got there to investigate? Where did they go, I wonder? So they're still proposing that kids were on the derailed trains, that white hats derailed a train to save kids because that sounds safe. What is the best way to replenish minerals? So much going on today from the BBC. I think I spotted. No. The Earth is still round, though, right? And Elon Musk says slightly flattish round. Ivermectin. Oh, does anybody reply to this? I want to see what they think about it, because Phil damn sure wouldn't touch it with a fucking 10-foot stick. He was just out of there. I guess I could just search Cash. I didn't know Cash Patel said that line. We might have to go find that and make sure, but yeah, I didn't know. Frazzle Drip is on the dark web. It's literally not. I don't know where they think this dark web stuff exists. Frazzle Drip is not on the dark web. Actually, Tap and Johnny did a good video on where Frazzle Drip came from, where it kind of got its start, what the clips of the supposed Frazzle Drip are from. It's actually from a movie. What's a heading breed? I'm thinking that was a typo. She meant a herding breed. Makes me sick. People are blinded by their BS. No. U.S. government. Ivermectin. So Mitch McConnell. Trust me, I'm awake. Damn it. I was hoping somebody would at least respond to it. We've always got Kathy H to look up, in case anybody's wondering. Awesome move. Awesome move. Jesus Revolution. A must-see. Oh, awesome movie. There's a movie called Jesus Revolution? It would be awesome if it was Dance Dance Jesus Revolution. I think I would enjoy that more. I feel I said many times that he is well insulated and protected. Yeah, his security that doesn't exist. If anyone here is following the RV, I have noticed on several sites something confusing. Simon and Charlie Ward said they will offer CBDC rate, and they hope no one will pick it. Didn't say it that direct, but that is what they meant. They said maybe someone disabled or in need of a lot of funds, etc., might choose CBDC, but they hope most will understand. Then yesterday I read American Patriot said you will choose CBDC or QFS, and it's a trap. And I got a direct message from someone very involved that said the redemption centers are a trap to go to your bank. I just want to help, and maybe $100K. I just want to help, and maybe $100K in my own bank account for a cushion. I just want to help people, and maybe you guys give me $100K, okay? Maybe. Then it goes on to say, for a cushion. I have no desire for anyone to ever know I participated, and I do not want to live a luxurious lifestyle. Is it a trap or what kind of trap? Jesus Christ. We are bringing back a couple merch line guys. We're going to come back. We're coming back with, we're getting ready to launch. I'm working on some Jervis merch. If you guys are interested, this just popped in my head. If I don't say it, I'll forget it. Jervis merch, the devil's step grandson. That won't be soon, but we are working on it. We've got some CIA summer camp merch, and we've got the classic shirts that not a lot of people got to see because I really promoted them only to the international audience because of the way shipping worked at the time. But we have shirts that say "Resist the Grift." It just says "Resist the Grift," and that's it. They're pretty cool. They look like they're kind of spray painted, like broken, like weathered look. They're pretty neat. I'm trying to get some of those going again, but that'll be coming up soon. I'll let you guys know. And if you're in the $25 and up Patreon, that's where you get free merch from. When I launch a shirt, I'll be sending you guys some. I may not be able to do everybody all at once. I might do like half of you one month and half of you the next month, but you will get some free merch when we launch a new shirt. I try to do it every 3 or 4 months, but I'm behind. The last time I was supposed to launch a bunch or supposed to be working on a bunch of merch was when my December happened, and it was a horrible December. Looks like Phil Godlewski is telling us to watch the water. He posted a video, this video, actually. Let's see what it is. It's him going down by some fucking boats in Lake Havasu. That's the old London Bridge, right? They're all trying to decode this video, in case you're wondering what they're all doing. Why did he zoom in? What about this? What about that bridge? Watch the water. How many boats were there? Someone count them. Tommy comes in with an intel drop. Tommy DeRosa says, looks like Mitch McChina has been taken out officially. There's a London Bridge in California, too, isn't there? Are we watching the water? London Bridge is falling down. I thought that London Bridge coming down meant Queen 2's death. QE2's death. That's what I thought. Probably the London Bridge is falling down. Definitely Havasu. I had that happen, but it was in the chat. Arizona. Phil's post was 55 seconds. Q post 55 maybe. Watch the water is my first thought. I think this was what I was thinking of. It's not 2 senators, but a senator and a congressman. There are the days of the great exposures. I have told you before, and I'll remind you again, it is about to take place. A senator and a congressman will die on the same day. When you see this, I know that these are the days of the angel of death will plague the ones causing continual destruction to this nation. That sounds like some Julie Green or something crazy prophecy. Hope so, about the reptilians. Please, God. Me too. What is the video about the boats that P posted on a canal? Wow, you guys are good. You're going to be a bridge collapse. He must be on his way to Gitmo. Yep, right when I saw Phil's video, I said, yep, it's London Bridge is falling down. Let's go. London Bridge is a bridge in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. When it was built in the 1830s, it spanned the River Thames in London, England. In 1968, the bridge was purchased from the city of London by Robert P. McCullough. So there you go. There's a little interesting fact. Oh, my God. This can't be a real video. Is that Donald Trump? I'm not even clicking on that. Is that London Bridge or a replica? Nobody bid on that fucking Cash Patel shit. We might have to look it up. It's when he was on Tim Pool. Then they said it was on the March the 7th. Julie Green saying a great American revolution has begun. I can't post the link, but this is from today. This is so good. Restoration, revolution, revival. I'm so excited. Praise God. No. Lake Havasu, Phil just posted a video. 56 also, the storm is upon us. I'm a pharmacist, by the way. I also use ivermectin myself. Eyes on London. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Is that the London Bridge? King Charles is going down. I believe Captain Kyle mentioned it, and it seems like Australia was included. Exactly, I don't get. Maybe King Charles was announced. Sorry. How long have you been here? 40 years. Somebody has a boot on because they broke their ankle. The Arizona governor hurt her foot. But no, it's some type of tracking. It's clearly a boot. These are called cam boots. Cam boots, C-A-M. I don't know if that's their official title, but what they're made is they're like they're boots that accept any type of insert. Hold on, I'm opening it for you. They accept any type of insert that maybe you need more support, or maybe you need more of an arch. Or my dad has one. We just got it made. The insert that keeps all of his toes off the ground. So this is a cam boot here, and basically it's a really oversized boot, but they can put inserts in it to do whatever they want. Thames River. Oh, did I say Thames River? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. But anyways, they can put inserts, any type of insert. Like my dad's new one is just like his whole foot is supported except for the tip of his toes, and it's called an offloading insert, and it takes all the weight off the tips of his toes. They also have what they call a rocker heel, so it's kind of rounded on the bottom to where you can step on it and not put pressure in different places. But yeah, that's what the boot is. This is not a tracking device. That's silly. Why would they make a gigantic fucking tracking device like this? Phil said the king was dead months ago. Yeah. He says everybody's dead, and then come back, and then they're dead, and then they come back, and then they're dead. He zoomed in on green lights under the bridge. London equals finance. I don't know where they got that from. Is that when the London Bridge is going down? 56 seconds, 55 seconds. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Off to prison, you must go. You must go, you must go. Off to prison, you must go, my fair lady. Is that what you're looking for? Oh, must be. That's exactly what I was looking for today. The Thames River. I recall hearing a Truth or Patriot that 3 things to watch for, and then that was the end. Charles dead, Pope Benedict died, and Biden is out of office. Well, no shit, the last one's going to be... If that happened, of course, Biden out of office would be the last one, you stupid fucks. But that's never going to happen until someone else is elected or he dies. And then what do we get? Kamala. Nobody responded to that motherfucker. Nobody wants to touch that, do they? All right, let's do this. We're going to go to the private chat and see what everybody's talking about. Let's search in the private chat, and we're going to search for our old friend, the Sea Hag. If you want to support the stream, go to Dono Clip. You can flip the camera now, and we've had some pretty funny ones lately. You can donate other ways too, but we're pushing Dono Clips. It's been pretty funny. God damn, she posts way too... Okay, just today, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 posts just today in just the private chat. You want to read them? You want to do a dramatic reading, guys? Here we go. Get ready for it. Amber says, had an Amber Alert on just one of the 4 cell phones in the house. About jumped out of my skin. I just knew it was the EBS. Still, though, it's weird. Only came across one phone. So the reason an Amber Alert may or may not come across one phone is the place that phone's been. So I've gotten Amber Alerts that Mariah didn't get because I travel more places than Mariah does. She basically stays in our home county and doesn't go a whole lot, maybe the one adjacent county. But I worked out on the road. I go down to Nashville all the time. I've been to other states all the time when I was working. And my phone, it tracks that data, so you'll get Amber Alerts from other places because they think that you've been around these other places. But that's what Amber Parker said. It's weird her name's Amber, and she's asking about Amber Alerts. Kathy says, that is odd. Amber is a fixture. I don't think it can be shut off. Okay. Someone named Kath says, hold on, there's two of these. Okay, Kathy Parks says, hey, family. I don't post on here very often, but I need my share. But I need to share my story from today with those that will understand. I started a new great job 3 months ago. I don't talk about any of this because I didn't have a good vibe about anyone there. I have mentioned only 2 or maybe 3 times slight comments to kind of feel people out. One was that Big Pharma was compromised and have been suppressing technology for years and once being funny about no taxes. So she's like, I don't talk a whole lot about this stuff at work, but one time I was like, Big Pharma's compromised. There's a cure for cancer, and you want to know about med beds? But that's all, okay? It was just a little bit. Oh, God. And have been suppressing technology for years and once being funny about no taxes. Today, I was called into my, oh, man, this is going to be sad. I was called into my boss's office and let go for saying inappropriate things to people. They wouldn't even tell me what for. I've never been inappropriate my entire life. So those 2 comments are the only thing I can think of. I can't afford this and feel like I was slapped in the face. I just needed to get it out. Yeah, you can't. People are probably going to think you're crazy if you start talking about med pads and shit. They're Kathy Perks. You can't do that. You can't do that. Anyways, someone responds to her named Kath711. So there's a lot of Kaths, okay? A lot of Kathys. Kath711 says, file unemployment now. Many get fired for no good reason. Means you didn't belong there. Stay positive, but file. There's a wait time to get a check. And then Kathy H says, file unemployment and stay positive. You said something that hurt someone's feelings isn't a separation offense. It's a mediation thing with a senior manager. I've done them a whole lot in my career. What? You do a lot of mediation with a senior manager? No, some things that you say that offend people is absolutely a fireable offense. What if I come up to you and made a racial slur and then said that I was going to come over to your house and unalive your entire family and then drink your children's blood? Would you be like, guys, let's go to the mediator. let's go mediate this out, okay? We got a senior manager here, and he's going to walk us through the steps of mediation. So that's Kathy. Then she says, let's see what this post is in response to. She says, Tucker Carlson's, this is from Carol Reese, says Tucker Carlson's opening tagline had clarify in it. Where did we hear that before? I'm guessing Phil must have said the word clarify. Kathy H says, from last night, I lost power. I'm so behind on everything. Someone says, I'm sorry you're dealing with this. Sounds like a place not worth your time, though. You may want to check into filing a complaint with the EEOC if you feel like you've been discriminated against. Throw it right back at them. Kathy says, great advice. Great advice. Here we go. Kathy H's own post. She's not responding to somebody now. It says, it came to me that people are screen shooting. I've heard screenshotting. The screen shooting is a funny word to me. It came to me that people are screen shooting posts and comments for nefarious reasons. Some of my posts have been shared with people who don't support our patriot movement. I'm going to be very, very careful what I say until the pages can be removed. Sadly, people can't accept free speech as a fundamental freedom. Listen, I don't want you to stop. I want you to do more and more, and please keep going. I love your freedom of speech, you crazy old bat. Aleco Salvador says, well, this whole Ron DeSantis is a rhino thing going around. Let ask y'all this. How can he be one considering President Trump calls for a Republican governors to ban Eric voting systems, and shortly thereafter, Florida is one of the first? What three for 4 states to ban Eric voting systems? Again, calling my governor a rhino makes no sense to me whatsoever. Kathy says, I don't believe he is, but his silence is ruining his credibility these days. He's a technical, lame duck, so he doesn't feel the need to fight back anymore. They are taking his family down with him. Okay. Diana Barron says, I keep getting messages from Axel on Twitter to open a lobster wallet. And last night, someone recommended a trust wallet and to buy Stellar coins. Stellar coins are a fucking scam, guys. Literally, Whiplash 347 or whatever his name is. Whiplash is just making up coins, taking your money, and then cashing them out to buy real crypto and then keeping all the cash. So it's a huge fucking scam. But Diana was told to buy Stellar. I'm trying to figure out what I should do. And has anyone done this in chat? Kathy says, I'm not touching anything digital until we get our freedom back. We aren't protected in anything. Oh, Kyle says, I just don't see how any bank employees actually know anything about the new system. I live in a small town and have friends that are bankers, and they know absolutely nothing about the new system. Well, Kyle, the problem is your honesty. Everybody else is just fucking lying. It's a crypto wallet, Pebs. It's a crypto wallet that you can buy different crypto coins on. The problem, Kyle, is you're just being honest. Everybody else is lying. Kathy H says, my small town is chatting like crazy. It's great to see so many awake bankers. Then Kyle says something else. He says, I know it's great. I've been a crazy guy for 2+ years, and now I can't get gas without someone coming over to ask me questions. Kathy says, I hope there's a safeguard for that, Kyle. I do lunch and learns, or did until the trolling started. Oh, wait. Kathy does something in her small town called lunch and learns, where everybody goes out to lunch together, and she tells them about QAnon theory. Could you imagine? Man, I would love to be. I'm gonna get a job as a waiter in her town, and just hang out and see what happens. I do lunch and learns. Someone says, why is Walmart vaccinating people inside the Florida state capitol? The vaccine, blah, blah, blah. They're complaining about the vaccine. And Kathy H says, our health department is cabal. So don't go to the health department. It's all cabal. So there you go. She forwards a post from Laura Loomer that says, breaking, the Proud Boys J6 trial has been delayed this morning in Washington, D.C. due to revelations of the FBI's mishandling of data. That's from Laura Loomer, supposedly. It's from like a Laura Loomer Telegram account, so it's really hard to tell. Someone says, could someone please remind me the name of the Roku channel that has exposure programs? Thank you in advance. So this has been an issue. There is a Roku channel that just peddles QAnon bullshit. Roku is very strict with who they let have channels or not. But there's one called, hi, I'm Jarvis. Can I take your order? That's very funny. I'm going to play that. Hold on.
Dismaz01 says, hi, I'm Gervis. Can I take your order?
That's right. So Roku has been allowing this one channel called Burrow, it like a rabbit burrows, to show all these crazy QAnon shit. And people have been very upset about it, including a lot of people in the media. That's the channel that they're talking about right here. It's a Roku channel. So it says, can someone please remind me the name of the Roku channel that has exposure programs? Thank you in advance. Then we get, someone says, are you talking about Burrow? And then Kathy H says, I kept thinking Bummer. But I know, what channel are you watching on Roku? I'm watching Bummer. It's it's not great. Kind of gets me down sometimes. It's a bummer. Phil posted a message about phones posting SOS, a satellite icon. Friends had this last night during the power outages. I love the idea that the satellites work. What? I love the idea that satellites work. Well, good, because satellites have been working basically since the fucking 60s, lady. What the fuck is that? I do a chew and spew at local buffets. Oh, no. What does she mean about... Phil posted a message about phones posting SOS and a satellite icon. Friends had this last night during the power outages. So her friends had an SOS and a satellite icon on their phone during the power outage in Florida. Then she says, I love the idea that satellites work. The fuck is that? That's very strange. That's all up to date with Kathy H. Thank you very much, Kathy H. We appreciate it. Let me see if I can do this. I forgot to show you guys something. What's Derek Johnson been doing lately?
Private. If anyone would like to, just as an announcement, I've had to make this page private. If anyone would like to invite someone, please hit the title at the top of the page. There should be an invite link that will appear. It seems that my least favorite YouTuber has shown up on Telegram. It infiltrated.
If I'm your least favorite YouTuber, at least I know I got to be somebody's favorite.
Defend Florida pages and took over one of the pages yesterday and had the founder permanently blocked and removed from Telegram, but we had it reinstated. I just went through and discovered that he's on this channel. I'm going to check my others, and I'm going to tell you, Will Bird is nobody you want to tangle with. He is probably the biggest troll and hacker that there is. And if anyone is on this page that is one of his friends, I will find you. You are not welcome here at all. Just as an announcement,
Oh my goodness.
Page private.
I didn't mean for it to loop, but
If anyone would like to invite some.
it says press and hold the side button and one of the volume buttons until SOS slider appears. Drag the emergency call slider to call emergency services. If you continue to hold down the side button and volume button instead of dragging the slider, a countdown begins and an alert sounds. It's a new thing for your smartphone. It says with emergency SOS, you can quickly and easily call for help and alert your emergency contacts. Here's how it works. When you make a call with SOS, your iPhone automatically calls a local emergency number. In some countries and regions, you might need to choose the service that you need. For example, China mainland, you can choose police, fire, ambulance. When SOS appears in your iPhone status, it means a cellular network is available for emergency calls. So when SOS appears in your iPhone status bar, like your notifications, it means that a cellular network is available for emergency calls. You can also add emergency contacts. After an emergency call ends, your iPhone alerts your emergency contacts with a text message, unless you choose to cancel. Your iPhone sends your current location, and for a period of time after you enter SOS mode, your emergency contacts receive updates when your location changes. On iPhone 14, you can even use emergency SOS via satellite to emergency services, to text emergency services when no cellular and Wi-Fi coverage is available. So that's why the satellite would appear. On iPhone 14, you can even use emergency SOS via satellite to text for emergency services when no service is available. So they're relying on a satellite connection to send text messages to emergency services. To learn how emergency SOS via satellite works, try the demo. You need to be outside on a relatively open terrain with a clear view of the sky. Trees with light foliage may slow down the connection, and dense foliage may block it. Hills or mountains, canyons, or tall structures can also block the connection. If you don't have a location services turned on for satellite connections, you're prompted to turn them on before you start the demo. Open the settings app, tap emergency SOS. Under the emergency SOS via satellite, type try demo. Then follow the on-screen instructions. And it basically says keep phone pointed at, it tells you where the satellite's at. It tells you how to point your phone. It says keep phone pointing at satellite to send and receive messages. It's not for anybody. It's only for emergency services. That's it. It's not like you can send them to your friends or anything. It's only for emergency services. Let's see what they're posting over here. Just heard from a source that Will Byrd has an open DEA case against him. Awesome. I think we've seen that one before. So tomorrow, I know tonight was typically a Patreon night. Tomorrow, we're going to do when we do the hangout in the day before the charity stream, I'm going to do a Patreon hangout. That's going to replace the Patreon shows from this week. I'm going to do it for all Patreon levels for the $7 and up. You're going to get a link over in Discord, and I'll probably broadcast it somewhere as well, like to Facebooks for the people who don't have Discord. That's going to replace the Patreon videos for this week. I was going to let you guys know earlier, but I forgot until now. That's about Alex Murdaugh. That's about me. I'm trying to see what else going on here. 3 clips that only show you half a story kind of fits here, I think. Yeah, that's about right. I guess now Chip is being deceived, but not completely. This was from October 8th, 2022. I'm posting this to the show, the old Chip, who was completely deceived. Reading this now should show you how deceiving and foolish all this really is. As you can see now, nothing has changed. Chip chat. Been doing some more thinking about what is to be unveiled this week. Phil said we won't be able to sleep that night because we will feel so good. Let's take some of the ideas that have been put forward by all of you. Canceling of the November election. This now makes no sense unless the 2020 election is first overturned. That would be backwards, and the people would not understand. 2, the SCOTUS announcement that the election has been overturned. That would be logical and the first step in moving everything forward with a canceled November election. 3, JFK Jr.'s introduction. This is when Phil said, on this day, you're going to be so happy that you can't sleep. You won't be able to go to bed. Starting at 7 a.m. in the morning, blah, blah, blah. None of that happened. 3, JFK's Jr.'s introduction. Again, this would make no sense unless the people first understood the election has been rigged, according to these people. 4, the arrest of Trump. That raises the question of how we would feel good. That's not exciting. That's restlessness. I say that if he is arrested, it will be to remove him from the scene, keeping him in the background, but many will be terribly upset and confused. 5, the arrest of Hunter. Okay, that's a good, but that is not going to keep me up all night. 6, the arrest of Biden. I don't see that, mainly because Fake Joe is not even Biden, remember? That would not keep me up either. 7, the Twitter post. That would be nice, but unless we see real things happening, it too would not keep me up. 8, the EBS or EAS. This one is interesting. It would set things into motion for both announcements of the overturned election and the canceled election. This would be shocking for sure and would certainly keep all of us up all night. 9, the PED. This, of course, would have to be followed by the EBS, EAS, and the SCOTUS announcement, or the SCOTUS announcement in order to the American people to understand. 10, Trump's announcement he is running in 2024. Please, no. 11, the media being turned and now telling the truth. Now, I would stay up for that. 12, the announcement of Nasara. That can't happen until the election is overturned. 13, the blackouts. These could be either power outages or media blackouts, but that's not going to make us feel good. 14, the Durham report. This would only be indictments, not arrests, so that would not keep me up all night. 15, you tell me. Nothing makes any sense until the 2020 election is overturned. Everything has to flow from that. Fix 2020 or bust. That is the bottom line. Chip Lit Fam 17 chat. So that's what Chip was saying back in October. Man, he hung on with Phil for a long time. He hung on to Phil for way too long. I think Phil is maybe shaking in his boots a little bit here. I don't think he's doing the best. I think Phil's best bet now is to drop his lawsuit. I don't know if you've been seeing people talk about these 2,000 fucking messages, these 2,000 texts, the 2,000 texts that the DA sent over between Phil and the girl, Bree. Somebody referred to it today as a groomer's playbook. A groomer's playbook to make the victim feel like she wasn't a victim at all and that there was no reason for her to testify. They were still going to be together and all this shit. 2,000 text messages are being sent from the district attorney's office. And that's the reason they brought the case. That should have all the evidence in it. All of it. Phil better drop this fucking case or something. Jesus Christ. Jesus. It's not going to be good, Phil. It's not going to be good. Phil G. Everything is about to crumble fast. Let's actually check out some of Phil's. He did a video recently, didn't he? Rumble.com. Oh, I meant to do /Phil, maybe? Yeah. Crumble. Crumble Rumble. I can't believe he has a video called Health, and it's about tribal insurance. Like, this dude better be in full panic mode. If I get a hold of those 2,000 text messages, that's content for the next 6 months. We could break down every day of text messages in real time. I could go live at the exact time he sent every text message for a full fucking day. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do when this shit comes out. Just claim they're all fake. Oh, that was some conniving 15-year-olds. Imagine his story that a bunch of 15-year-olds got together and outsmarted the Mensa member, who's Edward Snowden, who's also a former CIA agent and an NSA agent and a Subway sandwich maker and a semi-professional baseball player and has a mole on his dick. He was outsmarted by 3 15-year-olds. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Makes sense now. Has anybody watched this shit? Was it any good? Some people told me they can't even fucking watch Phil without me doing it. It just doesn't seem right.
Sometimes you go into the basement.
Oh, we watched this, didn't we? Did we watch it all?
Yeah, let's take a look at
I didn't realize that was the Crumble one. I thought it was a different one.
Fake a woman's death.
And they said, well, they had flagpoles. So
damn, we already watched this. I was gonna watch it, but I thought it was new. Didn't he put out? I got an email today from his locals. Oh, next live is on Friday. Okay, so his next live is tonight. I'm sorry, I thought he had a new one out.
That overarching group with the most power in the world has been.
I wonder what the comments say. Did y'all see Chuck Schumer panicking? I love it. A long time ago, Phil, you said pay attention to Tucker Carlson and the role he would play in the truth stream media. Well, now that he is playing that role, he is protected by the white hats, ? I want those guys out of jail. I was there, J6. Tucker showed the truth. So much is coming out now. I believe it's been held back on purpose. I need everybody to see it, DJT. Phil, I had the video you're showing when it first happened. As I recall, it was 2 days prior, January 4th. It was a total rehearsal. Bullshit. I sent it to everyone I could think of. About 10 days later, it was removed from my account. Different hats had different jobs. Some for vests, jackets, etc. Ashley Babbitt had a backpack to fall on from the candy glass window scene. When she fell back, she had a squib to break open. One of the actors ran outside yelling someone's been shot. They carried her out to an ambulance. Yeah, all that stuff really happened. I hate how they fucking diminish that shit. Smells like death of the cabal. Looks like deep state ship is sinking. Schumer points the finger and calls Trump supporters liars when he and his Democrat cronies are the liars. J6 should make everyone mad as they are being held in prison. My opinion is all are being denied their constitutional rights. Our country is a republic, not an evil democracy. A constitutional republic. I hate this argument. When someone says, oh, you know, we need to protect our democracy, and people are like, it's a fucking constitutional federal republic, not a democracy. A constitutional republic is a form of democracy, okay? Democracy as a whole, have you not heard that we're the leader of democracy in the free world, that we're the largest independent democracy, that we use democracy to describe ourselves? Basically, a democracy means that the people have the power. Now, there's different ways to lay that out. You can get much more specific and say we're a constitutional republic or a constitutional federally regulated republic. Those are like, that's like saying I drive a car. It's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. And then someone saying, it's not a fucking car, it's a Honda Accord. And you're like, dude, chill. I was just saying a car because this other guy drives a motorcycle. That's not a motorcycle. That's a Suzuki GSX-R. Like, that's dumb, okay? Stop fucking yelling at people, okay? Stop yelling at people. That's dumb to say. That's dumb to do. We are a democracy. That's a form of government. Very specifically, we're a constitutional republic or constitutional federal republic or however you want to say it. But it's a form of democracy where people have the power, and we either choose our own legislation or we choose people to do our legislation. So a true democracy, we would vote on everything all the time. Every law that come in, you'd have to go vote. Every law they wanted to pass, you'd have to go vote. Everybody would have to stay and hear all the arguments. So when they were trying to pass a law, and we decided, hey, we're not going to have time for that. So instead, we'll elect people who are supposed to represent us and do that. They're going to listen to the arguments. They're going to sit around. They're going to vote for what's best for our area. Sure, but like a constitutional republic is a form of a democracy. This is the dumbest thing. Our country is a republic, not an evil democracy. Well, democracy is not evil. It's our base system. But thank you. Schumer is sickening. I knew that mess was staged and fake 2 years ago. All staged. Many of us have known all along. The entirety of this stunning plan is just mind-blowing, incredible. That's because it's made up. If it's that mind-blowing and you're the only person who knows it, or your guy that you get it from is the only person who actually knows it, can expose it, can tell you the truth about it, that's just because it's just a lie. That's because it's just made up, and no one knows but you guys. Let's see here. I do have a link since we're not going to watch Phil. Hold on. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. This is a good one. Here we go. Remember we watched Chuck the other night? Chuck, the Air Force captain? Well, Chuck did not only go on PPN. He went on David Nino Rodriguez. And in honor of David Nino Rodriguez, I would like to play you a little clip. A little clip of, Nino being calm and cool and relaxed, okay? He's always been calm. He's always been cool. He's always been relaxed. He is cool like a cucumber. And I've always said that about him. I think other people have always said that about him. He doesn't get excited very often. He just kind of holds it down. So let's see how Nino does with confrontation.
Folks, I want to address something real quick. It's bothering me. I can't get out of it. I can't just say, I'm going to let this go. Can't let it go.
Can't let it go.
Spiritually attacked recently, and it's been picking up really with me on all fronts. I'm trying to do a good thing.
An oldie but a goldie.
And a business that I'm involved in has been...
So this is because I called him out for selling a pyramid scheme, a multi-level marketing, a Melaleuca is what it was. Thank you, Ashley Joe, for the follow. And Captain Smartass. Why are my alerts aren't playing? I apologize for that. But Captain Smartass looks like he subscribed with Prime and shared a smiley face. Did that play and I just missed it? No, it doesn't look like they're playing, does it? Oh, there it is. Shit.
Captain Smartass just resubscribed for 2 months. Smiley face.
They might play a couple times because I clicked it twice. Because I'm an idiot.
Captain Smile.
Thank you very much. I didn't realize the alerts were still muted. I thought I had turned them on earlier. All right, here we go.
Attacked, and whoever this person is, I don't even know who it is. One of the guys I saw, and I'm just.
To be fair,
blows the guy in the back.
To be fair, democracy does have demo as demon, as in demon in the front of it. So yes, you are absolutely right. I should have thought about that.
Looks like he blows the guy in the back parking lot from glamour shots. I mean, it's just fucking, it's unreal. Anyway, I'm doing my best as a patriot. And not everybody's perfect, folks. The people that...
By the way, he's speaking to an actual wounded warrior, to an actual combat disabled veteran, to someone who actually served the country and fought overseas. In direct action against the enemy. Like, he's speaking to an actual, like, not that I'm trying to say like I'm a hero or anything, but if we're going to start saying, what have you done for your country? Like, I'm not at the bottom of the list. I'm not at the top, but I'm damn sure not at the bottom of the list.
Folks, the people that are doing this business with me.
Damn it, I punched my mic.
Live in fear of this or these. And that's the best I can do right now. Until something better.
Here we go. It's getting worse.
It's the best I can do right now. And I'm proud of it. We've created a lot of jobs.
Okay.
People don't have to live in fear. They can live in peace.
All right.
It's a big one. And they're making money. So I'm walking the walk. What the fuck are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
Why are you not doing anything?
You fucking coward.
It's okay, Nino. Everybody needs a hero, and I'll be yours. Actually, I have so many medals from the Army, I might mail you some. If you need some, I can mail you a couple.
With me, do not have to live in fear of this or these. And that's the best I can do right now. Until something better comes along, it's the best I can do right now. And I'm proud of it. We've created a lot of jobs.
I've got to call this out. Putting someone in an MLM and making them a business owner where they try to sell fucking essential oils or leggings or candles or household products is not creating jobs, okay? You're not exactly Ford Motor Company here. You're not exactly like a contractor hiring people. You're letting people pay you money that you get a percentage of so they can lose their money, or at least over 95% of them are going to lose money. They're never going to make back their initial investment.
People don't have to live in fear. They can live in peace. That's a big one. And they're making money. So I'm walking the walk. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing except tearing people down? You fucking coward.
Ooh, that hit me where it hurts. Then he just sits there for a while. By the way, guys, buy my mama's book, Growing Up Spanglish. Make sure you check her. My mom loves it. And also, try to keep it down. I don't want to disturb the contractors renovating my second upstairs bathroom. Anyways, let's see what Chuck had to say.
All right, folks. Today I got a special.
He's always blowing his fucking mic out. Like he's turned to gain all the... folks, like he's always blowing his fucking mic out, dude. Turn it down. We can hear you.
Guest, I got Captain Chuck Ruffin. Yeah, Captain.
Wow, talk about a Freudian slip. I got Captain Chuck Ruffman, who likes to put it in a little. I mean, Ruffin, right? Ruffin.
Chuck Ruffin. Kind of got me a little confused. Chuck Ruffin. Captain Chuck Ruffin from Space Force. We're going to put a lot of conspiracy theories to rest. He's going to help me in this. But first.
By the way, have you guys ever seen Nino's Hollywood appearance? Let me see if I've got it. I know I used to have it, but I don't know if I still do. It would be old at this point, but I'm going to look for it. Hold on. It might have even been on the hard drive I lost. Yeah, I don't see it. Damn, I'll have to grab it some other time for you. But yeah, I got a video of him, the movie he appeared in Hollywood.
Folks, let me read off Health with Nino, folks. This is Health with Nino. If you started to notice an increase in the appearance,
Chuck's like, oh my God, he's shilling while I'm on.
Your eyes or other usual signs of aging, it might be more than just stress, folks. Your collagen levels could be low. You've gotten older. You may have also found that your nails are more brittle. Hair is
Plump up with Nino.
Which can all be related to declining collagen production. I'm impressed because in just a week,
Low T and shriveled balls with Nino.com.
I think I look pretty good for 45. Me, get it back today for 50.
Hey, I think you look great. I'm 40, and you know,
Are you on collagen? All right. Do Health with Nino. Go to Health with Nino, folks. Get yourself get it back today for 50.
He said, are you on collagen? He said, haha, no.
51%. Chuck over here.
Yeah, get it.
and I'd like to clarify some of this, okay?
Sure.
Kristen was not only in the Doors movie, she was topless in the Doors movie. She's also in another movie where these women get trapped in a business/apartment building where they're stocking lingerie, and she's topless in that one too. It's like the woman calls her agent from the building and is like, she's like, oh my God, stuff's going on here. How do we get out of this building? And the agent's like, what? I'll tell you later. Like he's being a dick. And then Kirsten W comes walking in with her rocket ship boobies. And she's like, I'm going to have a mimosa in the hot tub. You coming? And he's like, yeah, I'll be right there. He's like, I got to go. And hangs up the phone and then runs out and joins Kirsten in her high-waisted thong and her rocket ship boobies.
First of all, Space Force. What is Space?
Let me do some explanation. So there's different boobies, if you don't know, and they're classified a couple different ways. So the boobies, the way I like to classify boobies is like, okay, you have like mosquito bites. They're usually pretty small, right? Oh, that's a bad one. They're usually pretty small like this, right? And some of them are almost pointy. You have ski slopes. They're usually pretty big, but they come down and then they have okay, that's a ski slope. And then there would be obviously chest right here. That's a ski slope. It's got like a little jump, like a ski jump. You have, downward facing dogs. Those would go something like this. And then you got, a little bit of that and then back up. And then you got chest here. So that would be a downward facing dog. You have rocket ship boobies, which is what Kirsten has. So her boobies are kind of like, this is her chest, and then they kind of go out, and they're round and pointy, and they come back, and then they got like a nipple cone here for going to space, and that would be a rocket ship boobie. So you have different boobies, if you know what I'm saying. You have the cantaloupe in the bottom of a tube sock, which kind of looks like this. That's an older boobie, but yeah, there's different boobies. Cantaloupe and a tube sock is probably one you want to avoid. The rest of them each have their own special occasion. Rocket ship boobies are rocket ship boobies. Lots of people have them. They usually like have a nipple on them that's not well defined. Like it's hard to tell where the nipple ends and the boob begins because it's almost like a nose cone for a rocket ship.
Space Force. Can you explain to me what is Space Force?
Yeah, sure. I usually have to do like a start with a disclaimer so folks know like these are my comments, not representative of the DoD. I'm not like sponsored to be on your channel, as you know. You reached out to me and I was willing to jump on and talk to you about the Space Force. it's kind of been my platform to be that type of digital ambassador, if you will, to help inform people about the Space Force and what kind of missions we have, what operations we were doing.
Yeah, I didn't even cover the 2 styles of fake boobies.
What the new things are happening. So with the Space Force, what ultimately our mission is to organize, train, and equip what we call now our service members are called Guardians. And those Guardians go out and support and defend the freedom and utilization of space for safe ways of.
Well, if you say mine don't look like any of those, they just haven't been graded by the right booby grader. You got to have someone certified, okay? You got to get a legit contractor in there. Sometimes there's like some kicking around, some loose corners, a couple of like lift and drops, some different angular work. You probably just haven't had the right contractor there.
Using space. So you're defending everything from 100 kilometers and above. When the General Raymond came out as the first chief of space operations, he put on quote like 100 kilometers and well up to infinity. That is generally like the AOR that we have captured within the Space Force. So what that entails is the Space Force is responsible for doing command and control.
I could probably get to it next Thursday, but the question is, can I get my crew out here? I had to hire a crew, and what you got here is a Class A defect, and that's gonna take some regulation getting around. I have to get the inspector out here and go over it and jump through some hoops. Honestly, I know I can be here, but I got a boob guy. I've got a boob guy. I've got a nipple guy. I've got an undercarriage guy. Any rashes, I'll have to get a rash expert out here, and then we'll have to have we'll have to send that off to the labs. So I'm gonna say it'll be somewhere between 3 weeks to 7 months, and anywhere from $10 to about $200,000. So just go to that's my general contractor.
Satellite communications that goes everything from your terrestrial base, ground-based systems that have giant satellite dishes, if you will, that communicate to satellites on orbit. Everything from low Earth orbit to high Earth orbit. And one of the
banana boobs. I've heard ski slope boobies called banana boobs because the way they bend.
Main constellations that I like to highlight is kind of the most critical one is GPS, precision, navigation, and timing. Before, in the days of old, it was all ran and managed by airmen in the Air Force. GPS all entirely was managed by the DoD.
Okay, again, same things he told the other people.
They sit at a computer just like me and you.
All right, let's see if people are already pissed. Sadly misinformed or just paid to regurgitate their narrative. He says he works for the DoD to ensure public safety, monitoring cyberspace, but fails to mention that the DoD developed the COVID-19. Oh, my God. Space Force isn't weaponized, yet he's a weapons officer. This guy is a waste of our tax dollars. Do you really think anyone from our branches of service would come on here and tell any information? Sorry, Nino, this sounds like a load of rubbish. I don't believe anything this guy just said. Again, people ask all the time, why aren't real people coming on these shows and telling the truth then? Why, if you say all these people are lying, why don't the people who are telling the truth come on the show? Because this is the response you get. This is the fucking response you get.
Sending commands and making sure the state of health is good for those systems and ensuring that the satellite is on orbit where it's supposed to be to ensure that trilateration and telemetry is being sent to those satellites. So that's just one small aspect of it. There's a lot of
it's mainly satellite control. It's mainly, and it also probably goes in with, I guess you could say, cyberspace as well, correct?
Yeah, cyberspace is huge. We have cyber professionals.
Trilateration is basically determining your position from 3 known points. So you have to, if you're determining where you are GPS wise, you have to have 3 satellites, right? You can't have 2 because you would just know a distance from 2. You wouldn't have that. How far are you left or right? But 3 would let you get a pretty accurate location. When I fly my GPS drone for return to home to work, I have to have at least 9 satellites before I can take off. If I take off with just 1 or 2 satellites, none of the GPS functions work. You have to have enough satellites to know where you're at, where you're going, and how to get back.
Within the Space Force, where we protect and defend the network.
Admiral in motorboating. That's right.
Utilized to do satellite communications. So our cyber professional.
Possum nose is in the banana family.
Day in and day out, 24/7. They're monitoring our networks.
I did not just strip down and stand in front of the mirror to see which type I had. I'm telling you, man, like some of the girls I dated in high school had a wide range of different boobies. From mosquito bites to ski slopes to just massive fucking boob. So typically a larger boob is going to turn into either a ski slope, like it may be a higher ski slope. It might not have as much as a run to the jump. It's either going to be a ski slope or a rocket ship. Honestly, rocket ships are kind of amazing because I don't know what holds them out there. Like, I understand, like, a ski slope is like the weight, the skin, the belly. But a rocket ship sticking out there is just mind-blowing, honestly. Like, the first time I saw rocket ship boobies, I was like, can you turn sideways? I was waving my hand underneath to make sure there's no strings attached. Like, what is going on there? And I guess it's just perkiness, because I'm guessing after some time they start to fall unless they have some type of tensioning device. But there you go. I don't know what to tell you. Like, rocket ship boobies are kind of amazing. They're usually either by some type of surgery or like a young lady that's holding up them rockets
to ensure that there isn't any adversary actions to try and degrade or get into the back doors or try to manipulate the data being sent. Those types of things that come along with cybersecurity.
So how did the?
I'm just trying to be part of a booby showing contest. Okay. I am penis wise. We all found out the other day that I'm a grower, not a shower. So I appreciate boobies because they are showers.
Weather balloon get by you guys.
Yeah, that's been in the news. That's been in the news quite a bit. A lot of the public-facing stuff that's out in the news now is, we were tracking that thing since it launched, and that domain that the Chinese have started to utilize has been kind of a new domain of operations where it's pretty challenging to detect objects of that size, at least at that elevation. So we're talking like near space boundaries. So
near space and pretty small comparatively, right? Not making a whole lot of heat signature, not making a whole lot of noise, not a whole lot of stuff to reflect on. Again, I told you if NORAD changed their filter settings, they would pick up tons of things. And what did they do? They changed their filter settings, stopped filtering out very high, smaller things, and they picked up all the other balloons in like 2 days.
The international boundary for space is about 62 miles. We consider that the Kármán line. And generally
Kármán line. It's called the Kármán line because that was going to be my question. Where does
the Kármán line is where space begins. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I'm kind of like a rocket and aviation weirdo. Like, I like to learn stuff about aviation and rockets and shit like that. So, the Kármán line, have you ever seen like the Harvard like model rocket team or like the such and such college rocket team? Basically, they were all in a race to send shit to the Kármán line. That's basically where space begins, okay? And the Kármán line is just above where planes can technically fly because there isn't enough, the air is so thin that you can't get lift over the wings by just pushing a wing-shaped object forward, okay? You have to have some other means. You can't planes won't produce lift at that altitude. So you have to have some other means, rocket or whatever, and that's the Kármán line.
Space began, military airspace starts at 60,000 feet. Where does Space Force take over?
Yeah, Space Force would be at 100 kilometers above, so that's about 330,000 feet above at the 62-mile mark, right at the Kármán line. That's the international boundary for where Earth's atmosphere and space begins. Now, NASA and the DoD also consider about 50 miles as to where you are technically an official astronaut. If you reach 50 miles and beyond that, because you have technically reached an atmosphere where it's so thin, you're almost at the edge of space.
Now, let me correct it. Planes don't fly that high. You're not going to get that high on a plane, but that's the point to where wings would be not able to be used, right? No lift from wings, I guess I should have said. Planes don't fly nowhere near that high.
So, yeah.
So let's say that,
or at least that's the way it was explained to me.
The Chinese balloon, the spy balloon, for example, you guys saw it lift off. Could you effectively have shot that down, or are weapons, or does Space Force not put weapons into space due to international treaties? Are there weapons? Or do you guys have weapons? Are you allowed weapons in Space Force, or is it just off limits?
Yeah.
No rods of God, no space lasers, no giant space sharks with space lasers.
Technically off limits. We don't weaponize space like your normal capabilities to shoot weapons.
What is the name of the license you have to get for a drone operator in the U.S.? You do not for recreational use. You don't have to have a license. They're implementing new laws that if it's over a certain weight and a certain size that you would have to register your drones. I don't think a lot of people are going to believe that. For Part 107 is if you're going to be paid. I had my Part 107. It's expired. I need to get it back. But if I want to be paid for a service, like I want a realtor wants me to go fly through a home or above a property or scope out some property, or a commercial, or the river rafting place wants me to check. If I'm going to be operating commercially, that's part 107 licensing. It's a big long test with a bunch of crazy stuff about basically the airline pilots have to do it. It's a lot of stuff about airplanes, I guess, because you're the FAA doesn't really designate between like any unmanned aircraft or manned aircraft or drones. It's just under a certain weight limit, and if you're above that weight limit, which most 5-inch drones are, you can get some 2- and 3-inch drones. Like I'm talking about the prop size. All my fast, cool drones are 5 inches or bigger. But you can get some 2 and 3 that are below the weight limit. But once you get above that weight limit, it's this, you have the same responsibility as if you were fucking hopping in a Cessna by yourself. You have to know the airspace and how to operate within the airspace. And they're thinking about even putting ADS-B on board, which I have a drone that already has ADS-B. It's not active, it's passive, so it knows where other planes are, but it doesn't send out a beacon to tell people where it's at. Because I don't fly nowhere near high enough. But yeah, Part 107 is a license to get money for it.
In space doesn't necessarily work physics-wise, the same way it does on Earth. When it comes to objects in space, you have pretty much no, how do I explain it? Let's say you put a force out and you're shooting something forward, right? You shoot a gun and your bullet goes forward, but there's not a lot of like recoil. You pretty much control that because you have gravity with you, you have your muscles, you have everything to help you keep that gun in place. But when it comes to space, whenever you...
No, it's not expensive. Well, I guess it depends on what you consider expensive. Part 107 is to be a commercial operator. I think the fee is like $150, $175, which is kind of expensive. But renewal is nothing like that. You need a study course, which you can find them online for free, and I think it's $175 to test, and you have to find a testing center. So I guess it's kind of expensive. But I don't think renewals anywhere like that. It used to just be $100. You renew every 2 years for free, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Everything has an opposite and equal reaction in space. So that momentum that you're putting forward in an object is then exerted and it goes in.
Streaming for YouTube is a gray area currently.
So those physics are really challenging to manage.
But what about this? What about giving a signal to something on land?
Yeah, he's not doing this on behalf of the Space Force.
To shoot it down. So it's from space satellite saying, hey, there's a Chinese balloon coming here. Why can't you send a signal down to the landmass, to Earth, to one of the bases, and boom, shoot it down from there?
Yeah, we do have ballistic missile defense capabilities that are stateside. We just had a Minuteman III launch just a few weeks ago from Vandenberg Space Force Base. And so if there was a threat like that was coming.
But it's not like the satellite sends a signal to launch a missile. The satellite would track an object, and then they would relay the tracking, and then someone on the ground. I don't know. Nino's slow.
Coming into the United States to where it had a warhead on it or something, we could utilize ballistic missile defenses and in response to that. With something like the Chinese balloon, just for perspective, like there's surveillance ongoing all the time, 24/7. So we understand, certain capabilities are out there and they're trying to collect on us just like we do them. That's a pretty well-known fact, right? You want to know what your adversaries are doing, because that's what the Department of Defense is doing. We're protecting national security, and it takes us having a strategic edge and understanding what our adversaries' capabilities are. So with something like the balloon, it didn't pose a direct physical threat or physical harm to anyone on land. We had a lot of senior leaders.
So what Chuck tells me is the Space Force is okay. His command has approved. He never says anything wild or crazy or provocative or nothing like that. It's the same way that anybody in social media would be. Like if I was a soldier and talking about cars, I would still have the same rules around social media of what I could say and what I couldn't say being part of the military, right? They could still get me in trouble. It's just that his focus is mostly on his military career. So a lot of people do that. There's drill sergeants that do it. There's rangers that do it. There's all kinds of people that do it. I think he wants to move into an official capacity for for doing this for the Space Force, maybe to be like an advocate or something and talk about the Space Force. But his command obviously knows. It would be dumb to do this without your command's knowledge, because you wouldn't know whether they approved or not.
There's a discussion. There's several meetings about what to do to respond to this thing. It takes several layers of, identifying what capabilities it has on board, identifying what contents the balloon is made out of, identifying what types of things are coming from that specific balloon that may cause harm, and then what is the result if we did respond and take this thing out of our spaces, right? So what was the safest, most practical way without raising,
Somebody told me that balloon had like 180-foot antenna, which is just crazy.
International tensions across the board. That's usually how we would approach it.
But maybe that was what's so clever that the Chinese did, because they used a balloon, and it was kind of like out of your jurisdiction, right? It wasn't in the Space Force.
It wasn't in our space. I mean, it's not to say that
actually clever.
Yeah, the electromagnetic spectrum is something that we operate within too, right? So we have different signals and frequencies that, are operational between satellite command and control, as well as like monitoring of things. So it is pretty clever because, it is basically like it's a balloon with a satellite on it, and it's reaching an elevation that is kind of right at the edge of space, and it's a new boundary for us, and it has a really small resolution. So it's not easy to.
Yeah, what they did was technically smart, right? It's hard to see. It's at an area that it's not technically in space and not in orbit, because it's still being held aloft by a balloon. The balloon technically can't go any higher because the air is so thin, so they know what elevation it's going to stay at. But for all intents and purposes, it was a satellite just being carried by a balloon.
Detect with radar, so it's one of those obstacles that we face as a challenge. We have capabilities that we try to minimize our signature as well, and they do the same thing.
Were you all aware of the data that they collected, and do you know the data they collected, or are we oblivious to that?
I don't know if we know the data that was collected. That takes a lot of like reverse engineering and reverse calculations and being able to be like within the footprint.
I think they will know what data was collected because they recovered it. So basically, they'll say, "What is the capability of this machine? What is the possible capability of this machine?" And then assume that all that was done. So if it has IR, we knew they had infrared stuff. If it has, a telescopic lens that goes all the way down to like it's really only 10 foot above the ground, then we would assume they have all of that. We kind of know their flight path. So eventually we'll know what data they could have, and we'll just assume they do have.
Of the data and to see what they're actually taking on and off that system. And it also requires access, right? So it's just like me trying to get into like your computer at home. It would take me a long time to figure out access to that system and then gather the data, or at least pull some data from it. Just depends on the.
Not for Phil. He can take down anybody's Facebook or the entire Facebook at the snap of a finger.
What that technology is built around.
I mean, I think the way to answer them, honestly, is like send a big like a Godzilla.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! Look at the odds of that.
Yeah.
So,
oh wait, there's some racism. Is Godzilla Chinese? Should someone tell Nino? I don't know. Have you guys ever heard the story about Nino almost getting his head cut off? He says he almost had his head cut off. He's got this scar that's like comes from his lip back to his chin, but he claims they slashed his throat, which is not true. They cut him right here, just below his lip to about here. It was because he was outside a bar and he asked somebody for a lighter. And they told him they didn't smoke or have a lighter. He didn't believe them, so he started screaming the N-word at black people. And then they beat the fuck out of him. He was drunk, very, very drunk. And a couple black guys beat the fuck out of him for being called the N-word. We should send Godzilla to China. Right, ching, 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 chong. Wow, Nino. Good job.
to answer them, honestly, is like send a big like Godzilla.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! Look at the odds of that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what does Space Force really protect us from then?
So with
what do Space Force man protect America from? Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins, for letting me ask my question. My name's Timmy. Somebody said, why does it sound like it was written by elementary children? Because that's who these people are. Hi, spaceman. I am Joe, and I want to know, can you poop in space? Thank you. And they sat down real quickly.
What I'm going with this is like, what about an EMP attack or a solar flare? How do we respond to something like that? A solar flare knocks out all our satellite communications. A solar flare knocks out the entire grid, or an EMP attack from, let's say, China.
Sure. Yeah. So when it comes to like you just named off like 3 very simple or very easy to like identify threats, right? And each one of them has a different approach. For instance, like solar flares, we can't really combat that directly. You know, the sun is 96 million.
You can't really shield from a solar flare or go to the sun and stop it.
Miles away. When there's a coronal mass is what
I heard you drink Tang in space from a bag.
it's called, or solar ejection. Our satellites on orbit are hardened to a degree to where it prevents, you know, those solar flares from causing any impacts to the
DoD satellites are the most hardened against attacks, against solar flares, against radiation, against electromagnetics, against everything.
the satellite system and its capabilities. Some of the older technology, you know, something from like the 70s may not have as, you know, in depth of hardening to protect from that. There's not much we can really do besides just allow it to happen and then hope for the best when it comes to solar ejection. But for EMPs, again, we have some hardening capabilities for that as well. Thankfully, we have the nation's greatest intelligence community. And
so an EMP would have to come from some type of missile. The easiest way that we can foresee an EMP would be a nuclear device being detonated, you know, basically at the edge of space or lower. And it would cause a huge electromagnetic pulse. And basically anything that has that power runs through, or has copper wires or whatever, has power capability. That electromagnetic pulse, that's all that it is electrons moving, and that's all that electricity is electrons moving. So basically it would be like hooking up, you know, 1,000 volts to shit that's supposed to take like 5 volts. So it'd burn it up. The way you defend against those is either 1, take out the delivery device, 2, keep that shit away from our shores, you know, shoot down whatever missile's delivering it, or take it out, or take it deeper into space, something like that. Or 3, if it's going to happen either way, is put something like a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is something that blocks electricity, but also captures it and routes it around the device you want to protect, rather than through the device you want to that you're trying to protect.
And there's 18 different members within that intelligence community, and there's persistent monitoring of potential threats like that. So when we're looking for indications and warning of a potential EMP attack, you know, some of those red flags will be raised, and, you know, some of that performance of the DoD would, you know, essentially take place, right? So
our electrical grid is fucking susceptible to attack. It just is. It's old. It's outdated. We're a country that's huge and spread out and sparsely populated in some areas. Our electrical grid is spread out as well to get power to all different places. It's very interconnected, so sending a charge to a certain place will take it to a lot of other places. But so is everyone else's, right? No one else has like hardened electrical capabilities, or all their electrical systems deep underground in bunkers, or like, you know, so is everyone else's. There are some, like, especially when you're talking about like Eastern Europe or Russia or Ukraine or China. I don't know if you've ever seen some videos of just like people walking around power poles and getting electrocuted and shit. It's pretty fucking bad. Now, I don't want to compare ourselves to like an old world, third world, or an old world country. We should be better. It just takes a lot of time. Look how much infrastructure we have. It's the same thing with like tomorrow. You're like, no road should have potholes ever. Well, you're talking about a lot of fucking roads.
So the Space Force has a role in gathering that information and sharing that with the rest of the DoD to ensure we have an appropriate response.
Let's put a conspiracy theory to rest right now. Rods of God. I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I've heard of
Yeah, it's from a G.I. Joe movie.
everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll hit him with the rods of God. Is that even real?
No.
Nino, you've come out and said, looks like the rods of God attacked to me. Something did it.
The rods of God
Sorry,
is
folks.
it is
It's upset a lot of people. They're gonna like unsubscribe. All right, go ahead.
right. Yeah. I mean, it's a really cool.
You tell what Nino's worried about. Is he worried about the truth? Is he worried about the information? Is he worried about putting out the truth? A lot of people are going to be upset and unsubscribe. Go ahead, I guess.
Sci-fi theory to put rods of God in space, but when it comes to international treaties and the weaponization of space, that definitely is prohibited. And one thing too to note is that our international partners.
The rods of God have been a theory that's around for a long time. If you drop a rod out of orbit and you could do it accurately, it would cause a lot of damage. It would basically cause like a mini earthquake in a lot of places. Just from the force of it hitting the earth, how deep it would travel, how heavy the rod is, the impact, the blast wave, all that shit. I don't think it's ever been implemented or tested. I do know one time we put a manhole cover into space by accident. We were testing a nuclear device at the bottom of this tunnel, and they took like I think it was like a 30-inch thick manhole cover to cap this off, hoping to contain the nuclear device. It blew the motherfucker into orbit. It was never seen again.
That are operating in space also want
that's right, BT. I've seen that. Rods of God.
Safe, secure nature.
I remember that.
That does come with really no laws or limits to what you can do in space, just because of the international cohesiveness. And there's not a lot of laws and policies.
Space, typically, a lot of people work together in space. There is an actual rods of God. It is a store in California, like BT said.
Rods of God. Rods of God. Rods of God. Hey everybody, Jimmy Greer here, owner and operator of Rods of God, the largest retail curtain and drapery rod outlet in the greater Los Angeles area.
The largest retail curtain and drapery rod outlets in the greater Los Angeles area.
The door of our quaint storefront opens into our giant warehouse of merchandise. Believe me when I say, we've got it all.
Rodsofgod.com.
Imaginable size, shape, and style of curtain and drapery rod. Our sales staff is courteous and friendly and will help you find the perfect curtain or drapery rod.
Look at that mustache.
Don't forget to stop by our gift shop on the way out. We have every known edition of the Bible.
We have every known edition of the Bible.
And so much more. That's Rods of God, 1717 Q Avenue, just 13 miles north of Hollywood in the city of Pacoima.
Pacoima. The Rods of God. So there you go. Thank you, BT.
That really prevent any one country to act or operate in space the way they want to. Now, I have a really good friend of mine. She's a space lawyer, and she could probably speak more. Educated
space lawyer.
Yeah, she studies space policy and law, and so she's
space
on the back of her hand.
And law. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's really intelligent. Goes way.
Yeah. If there's a place, there's a law. If there's a thing that exists, there's a fucking lawyer for it, man.
Most of the time, thankfully, I'm not in that arena. I focus on space operations, but yeah, the utilization of space is interesting and dynamic. So when it comes to protecting and defending objects in space, we monitor space and ensure that there's no adversary nation wanting to snuggle up close to one of our satellites and potentially take it out or destroy it. That's something that is a very real threat now. And I think it was back in 2015 timeframe, General Hyten, he was the 4-star general, and he talked about some of our capabilities in space and being able to see certain satellites and what they're doing, and identifying that the space domain is critical infrastructure for the United States, and we want to protect and defend that for all Americans, not just for us. And then to include our international partners, we have a lot of international allies that have interests for their capabilities. When it comes to communications, when it comes to imagery, when it comes to just about anything you name it that's enabled by space, the Space Force is right there to help and defend those capabilities.
Where does Antarctica fit into all this? Isn't that off limits? So how
I get that question too with the Antarctica about it being off limits. I don't know the entirety of the treaty. I know that Antarctica is is an international friendship, right? So everyone that signed the treaty, it's not going to be claimed territory. There's different international countries that have access to Antarctica, and I think what I try to put into perspective is that it's not a habitable landmass.
It's very, 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 very important to science. So no one country can lay claim to it, can find out something, can take it over, can can destroy some of the evidence that's there. It's very important to science. So they've decided to tackle it as a world organization.
Yes, there are scientists there. Yes, there is science
So,
ongoing.
yeah, there's a lot of people going down there. There's a lot of politicians make trips down there. Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of really unique science that is taking place down there. I personally don't know what's going on. And
so you're not privy to anything that could be going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, down in Antarctica, it's a really challenging location. I try to put it in a concept like this. It takes a lot of logistics to send food and fuel and resources down to Antarctica. Nothing is plentiful down there, even drinking water. So the logistics just to get to and from Antarctica are pretty demanding. I used to have a really good friend of mine who was a pilot for C-130s. He would fly to Antarctica and he would send science crews and news media and stuff like that out there. And he would just talk about like it's super harsh conditions. He can't even keep the jet, on Antarctica for very long because components start to freeze up and things start to break just because of the harsh conditions. And there's certain windows of opportunity, to be able to fly down there just because of the weather and such. But yeah, it's not something that is really easy to travel to and stay there for long periods of time, from what I know, anyways.
Right. So let me ask you this: where does NASA fit into all this? I mean, you told me earlier that NASA is strictly commercial. Is that what you said? It's a
So NASA is
it's now a commercial venture. Sure.
Organization. So it is funded by the federal government, but primarily NASA's role is like science, research, and development. And so they do more of the civilian, space sciences and research and development focused areas. Primarily what NASA's role in relationship to the Space Force is, there are facilities that NASA has that the Space Force is in partnership with to launch, rockets and payloads into space. We have the Kennedy Space Center and launch facilities down at Cape Canaveral. So we have those partnerships pretty closely. And then, of course, we send astronauts into space to the International Space Station. So also NASA, supported and federally funded that way as well. So that's their role in the space sector.
So you don't really work together too much. It's not really, you're more about the defense of the country, making sure everything works properly for the satellites.
Absolutely.
They're more for science and research.
Right. Yeah. And
civilian science.
That, NASA is doing federal government like science, research, and development that helps, educate the Space Force when it comes to certain capabilities. So when we're launching a new space capability for a satellite, maybe their components that they're fielding in space will enable a future satellite development that will, go into space at some point for DoD purposes or vice versa.
How many satellites do we have in orbit right now? I mean, I've heard it's just a lot of junk up there right now.
I think ballpark off the top, I haven't looked at my numbers lately, but there's somewhere over 26,000 different objects that are monitored on a daily basis.
26,000?
26,000 different objects in space. That can be satellites that are active or not active. That could be debris from previous space launches. One of the debris clouds that we tracked closely was two satellites had basically crashed into each other. Iridium satellite back in 2007, and that caused a pretty significant debris cloud that we still track and monitor and ensure that nothing is going to cause any issues to certain systems that are in space.
Is space as polluted as our oceans are?
I mean, space is pretty contested.
Just and throwing crap up there, geez.
I would say more in the low Earth orbit, it's a lot more challenging to get objects into space. But thinking about space and concept of the ocean, being polluted, we still have a lot of, I hate to say this redundantly, but space in space, if you will.
Yeah.
We have satellites in space that are as large as a school bus, and sometimes larger, and we're talking, everything to include solar panels to the bus and the payload to, certain design features of it. And these things are massive,
And people need to go up there to work on these satellites, correct?
No.
Is that even possible, or is it going so fast? I don't see how.
When we had the shuttle program, when we had the space shuttle program, we had a satellite where that the whole design of the space shuttle in the actual cargo bay was
to go grab hold of it and work on it.
To go up and conduct maintenance on the satellite. So we would go up there and get in close proximity and then grab the satellite, put it inside the shuttle, and then the astronauts would be able to perform maintenance on there. Now technology has allowed us to where longevity of satellites is.
Imagine a place on Earth, when we're talking about Antarctica, imagine a place on Earth that has never been exposed to war or farming or a large portion of pollution, basically untouched by man, that we suddenly just found. No one knew about it. It's frozen, so it's got all these different layers of history in there, frozen into it. It's never been touched by all these corrupting factors. It's never been changed. The weather's pretty consistent. There's not a whole lot of erosion and blah, blah, blah. It is cold and horrible, but it's pretty... that's the reason that Antarctica is so unique and why the countries came together. And there was in the Antarctic Treaty, it was signed in the 59 or 60. And 30 years later on the anniversary, for the 30 years, any country, which was 13 countries at the time, and any NATO country or something like that could have fucking joined as well. There was some type of provision in there that United Nations, not NATO. United Nations country could also join. In 30 years, no one ever challenged the treaty, even though there's a clause in there that said they could challenge it and a way to challenge it and say, no, we want to do this and break the treaty. No country ever tried to. And after 30 years, they immediately re-upped it for another 30 years. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we can still learn in Antarctica, and no country really wants to fucking destroy it. There's a lot of scientific information going on there, being exchanged, being studied, work being done there.
Anywhere between 15 to like 25 years plus. And so we don't necessarily need to conduct maintenance on them anymore. Most of our telemetry, command and control that's down on the ground will give us indications of things that might be occurring on the satellite, where we can kind of prolong the life or send updates and, you know, keep the system active.
So people aren't actually going up there to work on the satellites. That's impossible because they're going too fast, right?
It's like a 3 mile thick sheet of ice that's been there forever.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking International Space Station travels over 17,000 miles per hour in relation to the Earth. So when you're putting...
How are we ever going to clean up space junk? A lot of it burns up, believe it or not. Some of it gets back to the atmosphere, but a lot of it burns up. It seems crowded when you look at it like dots on a map, but you got to think most of those are moving a projected trajectory in a certain direction at a certain speed, and we track it and monitor it. So there is giant holes to get through still, like if we're still in subspace. But eventually that stuff's going to come out of orbit. It can't stay in orbit indefinitely, especially if it's like junk, like trash, and almost all of it burns up on reentry. So it's not that big a deal. But we could put something out there to capture it, right? We could use something with engines in low Earth orbit that could go out there and capture and collect, or cut it in half, or have like a Jaws of Life thing to like cut pieces off of it and capture and collect.
We get there and do anything up there if it's going 17,000 miles an hour.
We have really, really good scientists and engineers that understand the laws of physics and can be able to put a system up there and get really, really close.
You know, all my flat earthers are going to go crazy over this.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on
it's going at 13,000 miles. How could we even get to it? You just do the science, my man.
So let's talk a little bit about the UFOs that people are talking about right now.
Sure.
Are you able to talk on that? Is it something that you're discussing?
Honestly,
a lot of people go to Antarctica. A lot of politicians go there because there's so much important work there. It's a big thing in international relations. It's a big thing in the scientific community. It's a big thing to do with the climate and what's going on. Man-made climate change, discoveries, international cooperation. We work with a bunch of different other countries. It's a kind of a big. Antarctica is a big deal. It's the most successful multi-country treaty that we've ever fucking had, ever.
With the UFOs, what I've seen in the media is about as much as I know. And
Patriot Space Sweeper.
In Space Force. Yeah. Even in uniform, like even us guys and gals that have seen the media articles and have seen, the sources being released, we have questions. We're like, hey, what's going on? And there's not a lot.
You have questions?
Yeah.
So this is very compartmentalized.
Yeah, it's very, Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the UFOs that people are talking about right now.
Yeah, sure.
Are you able to talk on that? Is it something that you're discussing?
Honestly, with the UFOs, what I've seen in the media is about as much as I know. And
really?
Even
are
us,
the captain in Space Force.
Yeah. Even in uniform, like even us guys and gals that have seen the media articles and have seen the sources being released, we have questions. We're like, hey.
Kettleheads, barbecue, and beer. What's up, man?
So this is very compartmentalized.
Yeah,
that's one thing my audience can take away from this is just how compartmentalized this all really is.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's unless you have a need to know, you're not going to know, and that is just the way the government operates. And so it's one of those things where, like, if it's compartmentalized to that degree, what's allowed in the public facing, that's not up to me to decide. There's politicians on Capitol Hill, there's military leaders out there that will make those decisions, and what will be provided for information that we'll see if I even find out. So,
are you aware of maybe any secret space programs at all?
I mean, secret space programs outside of what is already public? No, not really. Like there's definitely space operations that take place, in defense of national security, and there's a good reason for why there are things that are close hold, and that is just to maintain a strategic advantage over our adversary, right? So.
But there's never been where you're kind of just like, that doesn't make sense, or.
Oh yeah, I mean, us as uniform wearers, we don't know all the things,
Right.
So, like we know as much as we need to know when it comes down to it, and that's just the way it is. There's reasons for protections and security, and I honestly don't ask questions either. Like I stay in my lane so I don't get into trouble, and I do.
That's the best. That's the best part is staying in your fucking lane. Absolutely.
The interview doesn't get you in trouble.
Yeah.
So
and then, that's about as far as I go.
So let me ask you, what about these UFOs that have been supposedly shot down? Weren't you guys alerted on this?
Yeah, those are honestly, like the ones I saw on the news, that was the first time I ever seen them.
Wow.
And unidentified flying objects, being the way that term is, I don't even know. The one balloon that was shot down, we got a lot of information, and we were provided a lot of details on it. And then The other ones that have happened, I think there were still a lot of people trying to figure out like what those were, where they originated from, and even where they went after they were taken down. So there was still a lot of information that wasn't, compiled.
I think people immediately hear the word UFO and they think aliens, but that's just not the case. It's any unidentified, or so like that means the pilot doesn't know what it is, right? I see something moving around, or I see something up here in the air and I don't know what it is, right? That's one thing. Or anything that refuses to identify. So let's say a foreign country comes up with a plane that we've never seen before, or a balloon, or whatever it may be, and we ask to identify yourself or you'll be shot down. You're over U.S. You're over U.S. sovereign territory. Identify yourself or be shot down. That could be a UFO as well. Debris, something you can't recognize, a plane that you didn't recognize, a fucking bird you didn't recognize, a fucking piece of paper in the air you didn't recognize, something on your windshield that makes it appear like it's way the fuck out there you don't recognize. All of those are UFOs.
This just shows me just how highly compartmentalized everything is. This is
yeah.
I would think you would have known right off the bat. Oh, those were this or that. I mean,
yeah. I wish I could give you a solid answer. I don't. What I see in the news is as close as I got. My wife was, I think, the one that actually told me about the second one or third one, whatever. She's like, "Did you know that there's more?" I'm like, "I had no idea."
You're the captain of the Space Force.
Yeah, I'm a captain.
A captain. Okay. Well, okay. So let me ask you about.
A captain's not a super high rank. Like, congratulations on making it to captain, but it's basically 2 lieutenant ranks and a captain rank.
Space Force going. Do you think it's going to be the biggest branch of the military? Do you think it'll ever get to that level?
I don't know if it'll be the biggest. I know right now
it won't be the biggest. I don't think so.
15,000 Guardians, and that's including civilians as well as uniform wearers. When the Space Force first started, we were about a 50-50 split between civilians and military uniform wearers, and we are slowly growing. Right now, I think our accessions rate on the enlisted side, as well as like inter-service transfers, are about.
It's hard to imagine a non-combat asset, non-combat arms asset being the largest, unless we have like robots take over warfare or unmanned vehicles or something like that. The Army and the Army is probably going to be the largest. The Marines are just too small, very specific. The Navy, like with it, I guess we're doing manpower or equipment. Yeah, it'd be hard for like the Space Force to be the biggest one. There'd be a lot of technology changes.
Built behind it, which I'm glad. I try to empower those that are interested in space because, if you remember, like going through grade school, if you were really excited about space, you were kind of the nerdy type. You weren't the most.
Everyone wanted to be an astronaut when they're kids.
Yeah. So for me, it's exciting because I was that nerdy kid in school, and here I am now in the Space Force and doing really cool stuff with.
I wish you would wear your uniform. What is it? Do you have it with you?
It's in my closet.
Out of all active duty members in the U.S. military, about 30 to 35, 40% are U.S. Army. About 25% are Navy. About 25% are Air Force. About 15% are, I'm not sure these numbers are going to add up, but this is just off the top of my head. About 15% are Marines, and then less than 5%, whatever's left, 2% or something, like 2% are Coast Guard. But yeah, Army's the biggest.
I'd have to go grab it, but yeah, I have
Does it look like something from Star Trek or something?
No, we wear the Air Force uniform right now. The same because we're part of the.
If you include like the reserve branches, Army National Guard is the largest, followed by Army Reserves. And Army National Guard and Army Reserves make almost 70% of reserve components. So it's a big difference. Then you have Air National Guard, Air Force Reserve, Navy Reserve, Marine Reserve, Coast Guard Reserve. I think is probably like 0.1%.
Department of the Air Force. Gotcha. And so similar to how the Navy and the Marine Corps are broken out, you have the Department of the Navy with the Navy as its own.
Except in the Navy and 06 is captain. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And the Marine Corps. So Space Force is department or a part of the Department of the Air Force, and our, I guess, grown-up sister service, if you will, is the Air Force, and then we have the Space Force within the Department of the Air Force.
So how would
I think the Air Force is the same still though. Air Force is the third, or a captain in the Air Force is the third commissioned rank.
Space travel conflict or coordinate with you guys, because I know just out here in New Mexico, there's spaceports where they're trying to launch Virgin Air space travel, and I don't even know if they're doing it yet. I know,
dude. You guys know, Dude Perfect. They're the people that basically made the trick shots famous, right? Basketball trick shots and frisbee and everything else. New York City police had more people than the Coast Guard. I didn't even know that, but that makes sense. The Coast Guard is a very, 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 very small group of people. Dude Perfect is a YouTube channel that do trick shots. They had some type of competition, and I would almost give anything to do this. They had some type of competition, and the winner of this competition they had a special prize for it or whatever. And the guy from the Dude Perfect crew who won it, they took him out to Jeff Bezos's fucking rocket, and he went to space. He went to space as a tourist. He was launched up into space. They orbit just a little bit, or just stay up there for just a little bit, and then they come back down and land. And it was, man, that's fucking amazing.
Isn't Bezos doing something outside of Van Horn? Do you guys have to monitor them as well, or is there some kind of?
Yeah.
How does that?
We do space domain awareness as well. Space domain awareness is basically our utilization of radars and other sites all over the world that help us track space objects and anything launched, into space. And so when it
the reason that Chuck's career is so high, or that he's been in so long, is I believe he was enlisted first, right? I don't know a whole lot about Air Force ranks. So I guess I don't know what how quickly they rank up, and I guess it depends what MOS you're in. But basically, you can, in an army, especially if you're like combat arms, you can expect to make captain in around, I don't know, like 4 years, probably, like your first contract. I think Chuck was enlisted at first. But yeah, about 4. You'll be a lieutenant, a first lieutenant, and a second lieutenant for a couple years apiece. Sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. You might be a first for 3 or 1 year, and then a second for 1 year, and a first lieutenant for 3 years, then captain. But 4 to 5 years probably. Combat arms ranks up quicker because the way the point system works.
comes to civilian, like commercial space travel, DoD, Space Force, the most that we do is just ensure that whatever they're launching into space isn't going to either potentially damage or threaten a space system that's already operational. When it comes to human spaceflight, there is we have a DoD section that manages human spaceflight, where we ultimately just monitor the return and sending of humans into space. We're required to recover
Major on average, though, at least doubles. I bet you it's probably 10 years to make major, 10 to 12 years to make major.
People that come
total.
Space,
Are they already launching commercial space travel right now? Is that already happening?
So, to some degree, it's not exponential. Elon Musk is one of the larger SpaceX compatriots, and then you have Bezos, and then you have who was the other guy from Virgin? I forget his
Bezos,
name.
right? Or no, Bronson or Brunson.
Yeah, Branson. Yeah.
Branson, yeah.
So commercial space travel is interesting. We definitely keep an eye on things. We just make sure that they're good to go. There's not like an FAA for space, if you will. The Space Force does have a lot of capabilities to where we can keep an eye on stuff, that's in space, and help report any potential impacts.
Because see, I thought so this really has more, in a sense, has a lot to do with cyberspace. Space Force. I mean, you're controlling all the satellites and thus cyberspace here. It's really, you're not really doing anything with weaponry. Tell me if I got this right. You're really not doing anything with weaponry. There is no rods of God up there that can target something and instantly, boom, it knocks it out.
Right.
None of that is existing in Space Force.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we have.
Wow.
So there's satellite.
Wow. All you had to do is read this. All you had to do is Google, can we weaponize space? Is there lasers or rods of God or any type of weapon system in space? There just isn't.
It's on orbit that do different things for the DoD, primarily satellite communications, and then there's all the ISR capability
and satellite imaging.
Partnership with the NRO, right, for ISR capes, and then of course it comes to space launch. We have our rockets that we acquired a contract with SpaceX to have the rockets and then have them send up some of the payloads that the DoD utilizes, and then you have radar facilities, where the radar facilities primarily use detection of potential ballistic missiles that come inbound, or hypersonic glide vehicles.
But you would also deal with like cyber attacks and things of that nature, correct?
Yep. And then cyberspace is a huge critical component too of defending and protecting the networks that enable us to do satellite command and control and enable us to do satellite communications. So we have the cyberspace professionals there with us to make sure that we don't lose that capability as well.
So how
ISR is in intelligence, surveillance, and recon. They actually changed it, even though they still call it ISR. They added target acquisition to it. So it's technically, even though it's still ISR, it's intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, and recon.
How vulnerable is our grid? You know, our grid, our cyberspace. How vulnerable are Americans to this? Are you guys watching it closely, or is it very vulnerable?
PPN is Patriot Party News. He was on that last time.
DoD, like
Chuck was.
There's civilian protection measures already in place when it comes to like critical infrastructure. For instance, like power grids and stuff, you know, it's being monitored. We keep track of it.
So because there's a lot of people out there saying that we're going to get hit, they're not got our entire grid.
Vulnerability.
Can you explain how Amazon offers news or media platforms? VPN is not about. I mean, like he might be going on Amazon servers, but I don't know what you're talking about. Amazon doesn't do that. Twitch is owned by Amazon. Amazon Web Services are basically like anybody can buy and host stuff on Amazon servers, but Amazon doesn't do shit like that. There's an Amazon Video is a thing, Amazon Prime Video, but I don't think they do like live shows or anything like that. They make their own originals. It's kind of like Netflix.
Exist all day, every day, 24/7. And thankfully, we're not in a world of conflict right now where it's so exponential to where something could be completely taken down.
I beg to differ.
I
beg to differ on that one.
Yeah, we're not in a fisticuffs kind of conflict where like, you know, hey, this country.
I beg to differ.
And
so because there's a lot of people out there saying that we're going to get hit, we're not got our entire grid.
Vulnerabilities exist all day, every day, 24/7. And thankfully, we're not in a world.
If people sat and worried about everything all the vulnerabilities of the United States, that's all they'd have time to worry about.
Conflict right now where it's so exponential to where something could be completely taken down.
I beg to differ.
I
beg to differ on that one.
Yeah, we're not in a
Well, servers, Amazon Web Services is nothing. I could go buy 100 servers right now if I had the money and host all my videos on it.
Fisticuffs kind of conflict where like, you know, hey, this
on my own website, I would get Amazon Web Services, and basically where my videos are stored and where you go to watch them are technically owned by Amazon. Amazon also has the right to kick people off of it, and they have. It's just hosting service. They've kicked off fucking people who they called, you know, far right or Nazis or whatever. They've already done that in the past. So I don't know how long they'll last, but yeah, you could get Amazon Web. Anybody could.
Countries, we're shooting weapons at each other, you know, and you know, costing lives, costing American lives, right? That's always the potential. It's the reason why we have a DoD is to prevent that. But you know, the grid's vulnerable. That's pretty simple to say. That I have a master's in cybersecurity, and I studied critical infrastructure, and my certification is in threat protection. And so when you're talking about critical infrastructure, when you're talking about like navigation capabilities and those things, it's vulnerable. However, we have what we.
That's probably when I start hosting my own Patreon videos. We're going to keep Patreon the way it works. Like we have levels and people get to watch videos, extra videos if they pay or want to join, pay and join, that kind of deal. But I'm going to put them on my own website, coldbeer.fund, or actually coldbeer.live, but they're basically the same website. But I'm going to have my own videos. You log in on my website. I get to pick who signs up, who doesn't, where they're hosted. I'm going to use Amazon Web Servers to host my video. And I'll just be buying basically storage. It's the same way as like, let's say you wrote a bunch of books and you wanted to put them in libraries where people could go and pick them up and read them. It'd be the same thing as basically paying the library to hold all your books, kind of.
Consider protective measures in place to prevent those things from happening. And then, of course, response actions too, to try to bring them back online if they're down for long periods of time. Thankfully, we haven't experienced anything that extreme yet.
So are we the first with Space Force, or does China, Russia, and other countries have something comparable to Space Force? Or are we the ones, are we pioneering this?
We definitely are pioneering like our own Space Force. There are other countries that do have like space professionals that, operate and monitor in space, but their alignment is much different than ours. With us having our branch of military within the Department of Defense, I'd have to go through and honestly research like which countries actually do have a physical space force. I know that we work with some allied nations that are working to improve their space programs as well, and their space defense capabilities that we partner with all the time. So, are
you familiar with any of the Vatican's space programs or anything like that? I know there's observatories all over that are sponsored by the Vatican or funded by the Vatican. Are you familiar with their
that
projects?
Falls more into like the civilian space world. That's more of like civilian scientists and civilian research and development and observation stuff. So
you stay in your lane.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble, man. I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
No, it's fine. So we know we have partnerships with like civilian companies that help us provide some space capabilities.
Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin and Boeing. So there's a lot of commercial relationships with the DoD. But when it comes to like civilian space, there's a group called I think what's it called? The Community of Concerned Scientists, I think is what they're called. But they have a really great database on like filtering the types of objects that are in space. You know, what kind of satellite communications, what are weather satellites, what are imagery satellites, you know.
So I did some research after this the other day when we were talking about the Vatican. So I guess the Vatican's goal in investing in all this scientific stuff was they're trying to put a new spin on their religion. So for so long, you know, it was like religion versus science. And you couldn't believe in both, and you couldn't do this, and religion kind of went against science up to and back in the old days of persecuting scientists for saying the earth was round or this or that. Do you follow MedBed Crazy? I make fun of them, sure. But we don't follow any of these people. We call them out on their bullshit. But the Vatican, when we were talking about this the other day, when we were talking about, you know, they claim the Vatican has a telescope named Lucifer. They don't. They never owned that telescope. It's not named that anymore. It's named Lily. But that was a private company that had this telescope in a space, a general community space that the Vatican also leased out and provided for scientists. So basically, the Vatican spin on this is, hey, let's get scientists and religion together to show that we're not enemies and that they can both coexist. And, you know, we feel really bad about fucking hanging people for saying the earth was round and, you know, the earth is old and blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to invest, even though they call it the Vatican Space Program, it's basically just the Vatican giving money, right? They're just giving money to fund scientists or researchers or whatever that have to do with space and discovering stuff about space to kind of, it's like a PR, it's like public relations.
That's like an all civilian population group of scientists, or what do I call it?
Basically, the Lucifer telescope was at the University of Arizona through a civilian company that owned it. They named it Lucifer because they thought it was funny. They ended up changing it because they got so much backlash about it, and they were afraid that one of their employees could be hurt. Across that center, the Arizona Space Technology Center, like 1,300 meters away across that center was another area of scientists that were working in that center that were funded by the Vatican, their programs that they have to fund scientists. They had nothing to do with each other.
Like a civilian scientist, civilian.
I was going to touch on that actually.
People,
what about like a civilian scientist who builds a rocket in his garage and goes up to the desert to launch it? Like, you watch it.
Help with chronic sexiness. It's not the blessing you think it is. I've heard.
How do you know?
I saw a video recently of the GoFast company that kind of did something similar. Like, hey, yeah, they built a rocket and it went up to space. You know, we encourage commercial companies to go out and, you know, develop something that goes into space. You know, we have universities all over the world that.
Here's what I think is going to be a huge technology. Now, I'm not a financial investor or advisor. I don't have any role in this company. They haven't sponsored me. I'm not a technology advisor. There is a company that the biggest hurdle of space travel is getting stuff into space, right? You have to have a rocket. You have to have all this energy. You have to have all this clearance. You have to have all this airspace. You have to have all this power and energy. And that power and energy is also extremely dangerous. You can have explosions and misfires and failure to fire and all this stuff. So there is a company called Spin Launch. And basically they built a giant fucking arm that has a rocket or payload on one side and a matching dummy on the other side that spins up in a vacuum chamber. In a vacuum chamber, it spins up because of air resistance to so fucking fast that simultaneously at the right time, it releases the payload and the dummy so it doesn't throw it off balance and literally throws stuff into space. There's no fuel. There's no combustibles. There's no gigantic explosive you're strapped to when you go. It's called the Spin Launch. I'll actually show it to you. Hold on. A Spin Launch company, maybe. Flight test 7. Check this out. I think this would be a great investment. I think that this technology is going to come to pass. I think that, especially with the way that they're on carbon, your carbon footprint and how much pollution, blah, blah, blah. This basically uses electricity. So check this out.
Vice President of Technology for Spin Launch, and today we're at Spaceport America in southern New Mexico at our suborbital flight test facility. Accelerate vehicles up to high velocities to significantly reduce the...
So basically in this chamber is where they're spinning it. That's a door that opens, but there's also a seal because all this is a vacuum.
Structures and rocket systems that are required to enter orbit. Today's flight test will be flying at 1,200 miles per hour up to about 30,000 feet with our 3-meter-long flight test vehicle. We'll start by...
I don't know that this would come into effect. I don't know how it would do. I'm sure there's a way to negate the negative effects of manned launches, but this is mostly for like, bring us a satellite in its collapse form, its payload form, and we can sling it into space. Then you hit a button to throw out the solar panels and the rest of the shit, you know.
The vehicle, pumping the system down, removing the atmosphere from the vacuum chamber, and then when the subsystem checks are all...
But the problem with a vacuum is it gets exponentially harder to get a perfect vacuum the closer you get to a perfect vacuum.
Accelerate the system and conduct the flight.
Let's see if they show it.
Safe operation.
Or at least like a fucking demonstration of it.
The oil systems to run the drive systems for the airspace for launch. We then
Arm release. Arming release. Enable countdown. Enabling countdown. 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
See it spinning?
3, 2, 1. Release.
There it went. That's obviously slow motion, but there it goes. You broke a sound barrier.
We are at T minus 10 seconds from apogee.
Disable floodlights. Disabling floodlights. Pressure is nominal.
And it comes back down because they didn't put it in orbit, but...
All right. Good.
The problem, they have to release a counterweight into this chute that catches it, because if they didn't, it has to be perfectly balanced to spin that fast. So that means when you let go of a rocket, you have to do something. You have to slide or something to counteract that weight you just lost, or you'll go out of balance and you'll destroy it'll beat itself to death. So instead, they make a dummy load of the same weight and basically the same size, shape, and everything, and release it at the same time down into a catch.
Good release.
Flight today was the fastest speed to date.
I do think a lot of stuff will go to this. I know it sounds crazy right now, but 20 years from now, looking back, you'll think, oh, yeah, that's the way we send shit to space. That's the way we send satellites to space. We fucking just sling them up there.
30,000.
I told you we actually accidentally sent a manhole into orbit.
And after about a minute of flight, the flight...
A manhole cover.
...back to the ground, and we actually dug it up, and it's ready for reuse. We're going to continue to push the envelope and provide more behind-the-scenes flight test footage as our test flight campaigns continue.
It was an operation called Manhole. I think it was operation called Plumb Bob, and it was basically the first thing put into, like, the Russians may say they beat us to orbit, they beat us to space, but we did it by accident. We did it by accident. A guy named Robert Brownlee was in charge of this thing called Operation Plumb Bob. And it launched an object to space before Sputnik went to space. Basically, they put this giant manhole cover over a nuclear weapon that they dug this deep-ass tunnel for and buried to see what it would do. And this iron cap, extremely heavy, extremely crazy iron cap, was shot into space accidentally. So Russia can say whatever the fuck they want, that they were at space first. We did it by accident, motherfuckers. We did it by accident. An iron manhole cover was put into space with a nuclear weapon in the 50s. Oh, in the 50s. So I don't want to hear it, okay? Fucking Russia. I don't know what they were actually trying to do. It was in Nevada in the 50s, and the first bomb was like nicknamed Uncle And I don't know what the fuck it was. Like, what they were trying to figure out. Maybe could they cause an earthquake? Because they do something crazy? I don't know. I think it was, can we contain nuclear fallout? Maybe. It was like a 500-foot deep tunnel, 3 foot wide, and on top of it was a 4-inch thick iron cap, 30 inches around or some shit, 36 inches around, 4 inches thick iron cap. I'm pretty sure they welded it into place. It didn't help. It didn't help. Not only did we do it once, not only did he do this test once and accidentally send it to space, they thought that was really cool that we accidentally sent a manhole cover into space. So they wanted to see how fast it was moving. So they did a second time and figured out how fast it was moving. They did it. They dug a deeper shaft, a little bit deeper shaft, and they recorded it with a camera shot, like a camera, and figured out that it was traveling when it left the camera. It was traveling somewhere over 125,000 miles per hour. 5 times the speed to leave Earth's atmosphere. It was going 5 times the speed to leave Earth's atmosphere. So it definitely went into fucking space. So don't be surprised if one day we get invaded by aliens and everybody's like, why the fuck do the aliens hate us? And then they pull down one of their ships and there's a goddamn manhole cover through the windshield.
Satellites and put them into space, and they actually bring them down for their own internal science and research within those universities. So it's, like I said, Department of Defense, and then with the Space Force, it is our job to make sure that utilization of space is free and provided to the public.
Didn't Elon Musk send something up? What was that object? I caught it on video. Actually, my sister.
They claim the fastest object ever launched into space was something called the New Horizon, was the New Horizon spacecraft, which was going at 37,000 miles per hour. But that's not true. The manhole cover was going over 125,000 miles per hour.
And they said that it was Elon Musk launching a satellite of some kind. It would look like a bright shooting star going through the atmosphere. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it was I have it on video actually.
That was just the Falcon 9. I think that one was the Falcon 9 rocket, and its engines.
That little rocket, a rocket can show over the whole northern hemisphere. Like,
yeah. The crazy part is I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, this last year, and there was a launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base, which is in California, and we saw the rocket from where we were in Nevada going up into space. That was wild to me to be able to see a rocket from that distance going into space because of how bright it was, and that engine's capability to put something into space. So it's pretty remarkable.
Can we dispel any rumors of the firmament or the dome or and I am definitely gonna differ with you on going to the moon.
No, that's okay.
And I don't believe we went to the moon, but can you talk about the firmament? People say there's a dome, there's something that I don't know if it's Van Allen belt that we can't get past, that they say that we can't get past, or there's some kind of dome, electromagnetic structure. I mean, grid. Is there something there that you know?
So the Van Allen radiation belts, as what was discovered, I think back in the 50s, that was us, essentially probing space, if you will. It's kind of a funny term, but to find out like what types of radiation was up there, right? And what extreme values there are for radiation. And then,
the Van Allen belt.
Able to study like, hey, this amount of radiation is very dangerous to the humans, or
see, Duck Hunter.
So we need to develop technology to harden it. And so we did. We were able to come up with certain technology and capabilities for our astronauts to safely go through the Van Allen radiation belts.
Yeah, it's basically aluminum full. It's not that much radiation.
Of course, we've learned, specific trajectories are better than others when it comes to launching rockets into space.
Nino once called it the Van Halen belt. I wouldn't doubt that.
At least mitigates the exposure of radiation.
All fucking Derek Johnson wants to do is put a buckle on that son of a bitch. Van Allen belt, I'll put me a championship roper buckle on it.
Up to a certain elevation. The firmament, I get that quite a bit. I am a Christian. I have been baptized. I go to church regularly. I know Genesis, and it talks about the firmament. And so I oftentimes have to approach this topic lightly. But, it's one of those ones where, I'm not one to like dispel your beliefs. But, the dome over the earth is the concept that's within the Bible. And, that's perfectly fine within Scripture. And we have, gone into space, and we have gotten outside of our atmosphere, and we do have satellites that provide us capabilities day to day. I did a TikTok video on this topic, I think about 2 months ago, kind of giving my perception.
The guy, Flat Earth Dave, it was Flat Earth Dave, I believe. He once said that it was basically all the satellites were strapped to balloons.
Of it. And,
I'm sure I could have Chuck on. I talk to him pretty regularly.
On the dome is one thing, right? We can go out into space and
he's doing his, I don't want to fuck him up right now. He's doing his big star tour. And if people thought that, if people found out he'd come on my show, I bet you a lot of people would cancel.
spiritually, that barrier may be very present. So when we pass in life and go up into the heavens, that might be the barrier where we pass through in a spiritual realm versus physical realm.
That's
So
interesting.
that's kind of the only way I can interpret it, personally, just because I am a Christian and I do,
People think that when he says he separated the lands and the seas from the heavens, that means from space. But whoever said that heaven was in space, exactly the way he said it, the same way I said it when he's on PPN last night. How do we know that's not like the barrier from life to afterlife? No one's ever seen heaven in space. People go to space and haven't seen heaven. So why would that not be the difference between life and death, if that's the way you want to interpret it? You can believe the Bible and still believe that the earth's not fucking flat.
Las Vegas, Nevada, this last year, or at least mitigates the life and go up into the heavens. That might be the barrier where we pass through. Just because I am a Christian and I
Get him on a rhino.
But I always tell people I'm willing to listen to your views if you're willing to listen to mine. Everybody has an opinion.
1000%. Let me ask you another question then. That leads me.
Unless you say something about Nino signing up people for Melaleuca, then it's, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing for your country?
Where does the curvature of the earth begin, at least optically? Because when I'm up in a plane, I don't see it. Like, I'll be flying at 36,000 feet and I look out and everything just looks.
How do you even know you don't see it? How do you know you don't? I mean, you're looking through a window. Glass we know bends and reshapes light, and light is what you see. You're seeing light, right? How do you know you don't see it? How do you know you're not looking off at the fallout and seeing the curve straight ahead? You want to see this, and it's just not that. You don't understand how big the earth is.
Flat.
Right.
I'm like, where's the curvature? Well, where does that begin? At what altitude are you before you start seeing the curvature of the planet?
From the research that I've seen, like as far as videos, when it comes to breaking the boundary between Earth and space, you can really start to see the curvature of Earth once you get to that Kármán line, about 62 miles up, and you begin to see, a slight curvature. The Earth is massive when it comes to a 6-foot person inside of average 6 foot person.
How far up do you start to see the curvature? Kármán?
About 62 miles, 100 kilometers, 62 miles up.
That's when you start to begin to see the curvature.
When you start to really begin.
So when people say the Earth is flat, I'm in a plane, I'm looking at it, it's flat. I mean, even me, I'm like, okay, it looks very flat to me. You're saying like, no, we have to go up 62 miles and even start to see.
100 kilometers is so a plane flies at 30, 40, 50, 60,000 feet. 100 kilometers is like 325,000 feet or so.
Seeing the curvature.
Yeah, based on what I've seen in videos, that's usually about the time when, especially when rockets start to leave atmosphere. They live stream the rocket launches quite a bit, and you can find them all the time. There's a space launch calendar on Spaceflight now.
Oh, that's edited, bro. That's edited. Don't even look at that shit. That's edited as fuck.
Watch most of the SpaceX launches, and you'll see, they have cameras on board the rocket bodies for to and from now, and you really start to see the curvature of Earth once it starts breaking that Kármán line boundary, and even upon reentry. And then
you can see it before that, but I mean that's pretty fucking apparent. Okay, this is what something would look like from the Kármán line. It's grossly apparent. That's grossly apparent curvature, right? Like I'm sure you could see that before there, but still, it's grossly apparent. Nobody can deny it's curving at that point.
When it talks about like air travel, right? If you go in one direction for a long period in time, let's say you just left from California and you just continued in a westward direction all the way around Earth, you would eventually come back up to the same point, but you'd be approaching from the opposite side. That's been one method of kind of saying, hey, the Earth is generally round, because if you flew westward far enough, you'd eventually come back around and be crossing the east coast of the United States and coming back to California. So it's harder to see at like 30,000 feet. You can't really.
We've explored more. We've explored more of space than we have our own oceans.
Yeah,
that's what really.
Yeah, I would say there might be some really cool photos from the U2 Dragon Lady being up at about 60,000 feet. You might be able to see curvature of Earth, around that point too. But it's really hard to get and stay and maintain up at 60,000 feet. The air is so thin up there, so it's not easy for us to operate in that environment for long periods of time. And then
what about people that are going to say, hey, we've heard that we've never gotten past lower Earth orbit. I've heard people say that we've not been able to go outside of lower Earth's orbit.
Yeah, humans wise, we have no reason to go out beyond low Earth orbit.
The U2 Dragon Lady is a reconnaissance plane that flies extremely, extremely high. I don't know what its capabilities are. I mean, 70,000 plus feet. I'll try to show you a picture of it. Because I know a lot of people probably thought he said YouTube Dragon Lady. It's a Lockheed U2 Dragon Lady. Yeah, it looks something like this. Open image in a new tab. It looks something like this big ass fucking shit on it. That's the U2 Dragon Lady. This is an extra component that's sometimes on it, sometimes not. When it doesn't have that on it, it looks something like this. Still a wild looking fucking plane, but that's it.
You're talking several hundred miles out into space. Logistically, just it's a logistic challenge to put like humans in space that far out.
So then how the hell did we go to the moon? How did we get to the moon?
As I was going to say, is like satellite capabilities and much larger rockets. On the other hand,
but you really think we did that in the 60s?
I think takes it much farther.
We should do another segment on that.
Yeah, 200,000 miles to get to the moon.
Are you open to like at least
have a conversation?
Maybe we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, I mean,
could it have been done in a whole basement? Could it have been
having a conversation? Not maybe we didn't go.
I mean,
well, we went to the moon more than one time, and we've had more than just a couple of astronauts land on the moon.
Yes, we went to the moon multiple times. This is something fucking stupid. We only went one time? There's only been 2 people there ever? No. You're just an idiot, and you believe someone else said it.
We had 12 different astronauts go onto the moon. And I think a lot of the population, they like hone in on the one event, right? The biggest, the most monumental one that's got the quotes going everywhere. But in general, like historically, we had over 12 different astronauts touch the surface of the moon.
12 men have touched the surface of the moon.
And, we've had, just recently, we had the Artemis launch with the SLS, where we sent Orion around the moon and was able to return.
So why is it so hard to get outside low Earth orbit? I don't understand that then. Like, so why is
it takes a ton of power, bro. A ton of power.
That's so difficult if we do it so often.
Yeah, so we have satellites that do operate in other orbits, like MEO and GEO, geostationary Earth orbit, and then we have a highly elliptical orbit. That term you can find is called Molniya. And the Molniya orbit, is a satellite that operates like you have a very high propagated path. It's usually kind of covering the poles, and then when it comes back down, it's really close to Earth, and then it kind of slingshots back. It looks like a hula hoop almost. To get us out to the moon is generally based on the amount of fuel it takes to get us out there and return.
But you said it was dangerous for people to be outside the lower space orbit, right? It's dangerous. Why is it dangerous?
Well, when it comes to going beyond LEO, you have to now incorporate life.
Imagine going across the lake in a John boat, or trying to take that John boat and outfit it to cross the fucking Atlantic Ocean, Nino.
Sustainment systems. You have to incorporate much more hardened technology when it comes to anti-radiation capabilities. You have to incorporate large amounts of fuel storage on board, and then that also is a mass. That comes down to weight and our ability to send a rocket into space that will have a trajectory long enough to burn and go beyond low Earth orbit and outside of that.
So how did we get to the moon and back then? Like
you take enough shit.
We rely on magnetic
we come
fields.
back? We slingshot around the moon, or what?
Yep, we slingshot around the moon. We use the magnetic forces. Right. Yeah. Yeah, we use the magnetic forces or Lagrange points between the two objects to help us navigate specific systems that go to and from the moon. So we have, moon orbiting systems that are out there, and we rely on that engineering and science to take us to and from the moon.
Where does the radiation belt stop?
The Van Allen radiation belts?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't recall where exactly they stop. They go out pretty far. I'd have to honestly look it up exactly how far we've detected the most amount of radiation up to a certain point. Again, this falls into more of the science, research, and development side of things. So, but
I'm just saying, because depending on how far it goes out, we just put our astronauts on the moon to just bounce around up there and all this radiation.
Yeah, that was a risk to exposure.
There's multiple. So the radiation belts, you have an inner radiation belt and an outer radiation belt. There seems to be some space in between, but it's a huge range because you have the inside and the outside. I wonder if I can open this for you. Here's a video playing of the radiation belts. Van Allen radiation belt is a zone of electrical charged particles, most of which originate from the solar wind that is captured by and held around the planet by that planet's magnetic field. The Earth has 2 such belts, and sometimes others may be temporarily created. So see how it's changing, and this is dated. 2003, November 3rd, November 4th. The belts trapped radiation above the Earth's atmosphere, but within the magnetosphere, where first detected by James Van Allen in 1958. Therefore, these belts are known as the Van Allen belts. This is November 5, November 6, November 7, November 8, 9, 10. So this would all be inner. Then we have this green zone that starts out here at the outer. The Van Allen radiation belts are torus, donut-shaped, of energetic charged particles circling the Earth around its magnetic equator and held in place by Earth's magnetic field. The main belts extend from an altitude of about 1,000 feet to 60,000 feet, 1,000 kilometers, 60,000 kilometers above the surface, in which region radiation levels vary. Look how low they were right there on whenever this is. Probably at in 2003, November 22nd, 2003, maybe. Look how low they are right there. People act like it's this fucking brick wall that nobody can get through, and I don't know who told these people that. But it's not. Oh, that was from Wikipedia. I didn't know where that was from. I just clicked Van Allen video or searched Van Allen video, and there was one.
Something that astronauts are very well aware of. And when it comes to the development of the spacesuits and preventing that exposure to radiation, there's a lot of technology built into the types of materials, even the types of internal components to help regulate.
I'm curious what he said after he left, but I think he ends with Chuck. I don't think he leaves in talks.
Radiation. Even the lenses you see on the astronauts' helmets.
At least one boxing mat with his face. That's for sure.
Radiation, but still be able to see.
We got the video.
And that's a pretty critical amount of science that it takes to go into just the design of a spacesuit to allow an astronaut to jump.
Do you guys know the movie? Is it Behind Enemy Lines? Maybe. The movie where they're on the aircraft carrier. I just found this out a couple days ago, and I want to share it before I forget it. They're on the aircraft carrier, and at the beginning of the movie, they take a football out there, and they have the catapult system that launches the jets into the air. They grab it by the front wheel and kind of push it to get it up to speed. They have a football out there, and they want the catapult to kick the football out into space. And basically what happens, because of the prevailing wind and the direction of travel, the football goes out and up, and then it comes back on board because they're traveling into it and someone catches it or whatever. Have you guys ever seen that part of the movie? Did you know they actually filmed on an aircraft carrier? And that's a steam-driven catapult, okay? They build up a ton of steam pressure. That's why there's all that white smoke. They build up a ton of steam pressure and then drop it for that catapult system. For the movie, they actually wanted that catapult to hit that football and kick it out into space to get the picture they wanted, right? To get the movie picture they wanted. But you can tell at some point it goes to CGI. Like, it doesn't look right for a second, and then it goes to CGI when it's coming back in. So actually what they had to do is they tried 3 times to get this catapult to hit the football, and they kept turning the pressure down. Okay, it hit the football all 3 times. They kept turning the pressure down and literally just destroyed the fucking football. So the actual shot is a guy throwing the football up, and then the rest of it's CGI coming back to the ship, and then someone threw it up and the guy catches it. But the catapult fucking ripped it apart each time. They kept turning the pressure down, and finally they got it. They're like, the pressure's so low, we're not even going to have the catapult moving. It's just going to sit here. It won't overcome the friction of it. But yeah, it kept beating the fucking football apart.
Around on the moon and do what they need to do to collect samples. So.
All right, I still don't believe it, but I'm going to tell you what. I'd like to bring you on for another segment if you're ever.
Well, you also believe that 2 people had only ever been there. Only 2 people have been there because we only went 1 time. That wasn't true. But now you don't believe the rest of it? Got it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's exciting conversations, to give my perspective. Again, civilian space exploration is not my strong suit, but,
or like people come to me all the time. How is there a camera already on the moon recording the landing? You can see the dust shoot up. Yeah, it was on the landing leg.
I can certainly speak to it. It's fun.
This has been an awesome interview, Chuck.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Ruffin, Space Force captain, one of the captains of Space Force, the captain, one of the captains. I think we learned a lot here, man. I think you've helped myself and my audience to understand what Space Force.
He calls himself the Space Force captain, but obviously there's multiple captains. That's a rank. It's not a job or title of a job.
But man, thank you, Chuck, for giving me your time and joining me.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so I'll get you on for a second segment at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to reach out. I would love to have another conversation. Even teach more about the Space Force. That was a very wave top, like scratch the surface. If like specific questions you have about realignment of forces or how inter-service.
I wonder if I could bring a flat earther on with you and you just let you 2 go at it.
I admit, oh my God, Jay Banana, your shirt's going to be a banana in low Earth orbit, being torn apart by the Van Allen belts. We're doing mod merch, in case you're wondering what we're talking about.
It'll be hard. They're so challenging to convince, and you know, it's fun. It's fun for me. I don't mind. Like I will listen. I'll talk, and I'll talk my ears off. You know.
Would you do that? Would you be open to it?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to have someone come on, we'll have a. As long as they're
David
fun.
Weiss, if you're out there and you're listening, I want you to come on and talk to Chuck here about.
Oh my God, no! Flat Earth Dave is fucking combative and dumb.
So Chuck, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for having me again on your platform. Like I said, I've seen your videos and seen your podcasts, and I'm just thankful you reached out to me, and I appreciate it so much.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on.
So I think specifically Derek Johnson was not supposed to be brought up.
Instagram as Space Force Chuck. You can find me on Facebook. I have 2 pages, Chuck Ruffin, and then I have a What's Up Chuck group. And then I'm also on TikTok as Space Force Chuck.
So it's basically Space Force Chuck.
Yep.
Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other one?
Facebook. Yep.
What is it, Space Force Chuck?
Yeah, I have a What's Up Chuck group, and then just Chuck Ruffin is just a Facebook page I have. But it's all tied back. You can find all my information to Space Force Chuck pretty much everywhere.
Cool. All right, Chuck. Take care of yourself, and thank you very much. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Yeah, he specifically doesn't speak after Chuck leaves, which is to be expected. But all these fucking comments are disgusting as fuck. What's this video? Hold on. Probably a flat Earth video. Hold on. Project Thor, U.S. most lethal non-nuclear weapon.
The US will try its best to get hold of as much of the world as it can, and it biological of an intercontinental ballistic missile. This new weapon does not fall under the category of either one of those, and promises to deliver strikes. Project one acts as a targeting center, and the other.
I don't think people understand that if a project is submitted, that doesn't mean we have it. We also had a project, I can't remember the name of it, but it was literally to impregnate bats with explosives and then get them to land in bunkers and then self-detonate. That's not something we did either. We thought about it. We tried to train some bats. That was about it.
There is like 20-foot-long tungsten rods that were kilograms due to the density of the rod. Now, with the establishment of an official Space Force, Project Thor is becoming an inherent truth.
Now with the Space Force, Project Thor is becoming a truth. No, it's not.
Washington has firmly rejected such treaties.
I watched a guy the other day who can't translate Chinese. He's supposed to be a political and news like shorts maker. Try to say that, okay, so a poorly translated article come out of fucking China, and it was talking about their new high-tech helmets. So their helmets have basically a visor that comes down that has a heads-up display. It'll basically identify your friendlies. It shows you where they're at. You can range distance. It'll pick up motion and targets. It has infrared built in, night vision capabilities, all that shit. And in this article, where it's talking about China's new high-tech helmets, it says that there's a self-destruct feature that can be operated by the soldier, but can also be operated remotely by the commander. Okay? Now, this YouTuber, TikToker, tried to say that this was basically like to not be captured, because it said something about this falling into enemies' hands. This was like a self-destruct feature where they could just like blow up your fucking head, or they could use you as like a suicide bomber, or like if you got captured, your captain's just going to blow you up, or if you didn't follow commands, he's going to blow up your brain. But obviously, if we just think logically for a minute, we have technology with self-destruct features, okay? Our radio systems, you have to go get a device to scramble our radio systems and make sure they're all linked up with this. I'm not going to describe it or how it works, but make sure they're all linked up, right? But there's a big red button that says scramble on it, and if it's going to be captured or if you have to leave it, you either destroy the radios or at least scramble them at minimum. You're supposed to destroy them with thermite, the whole vehicle. They're destroying not the soldier or his head or blowing up his helmet. It has a way to delete the technology, right? The programs that are running there. You just basically boot it all the way down to where nothing runs. It would be the difference between taking a working computer and then just taking all the parts of a computer, but they've all been fried. Obviously, they're not out there running around with soldiers like, blow that one's head up. He only did 13 push-ups. I asked for 15. Boom, get him. Like, these people are idiots. obviously, with the induction of Space Force, the rods of God are a real thing now. Why? Who said that? Who said that? No one.
Arms Reduction Treaty, START, which aims at general arms reduction and to begin to take seriously the threat of space-based weapon. We are very concerned about the danger of the transformation of outer space into a sphere of armed confrontation. This subject...
Fucking idiots, man. No one thinks about anything logically. Like a trained soldier that would not only be well-trained and have this money invested, but would also be at a level that got this high-tech gear, would be like our fucking special forces that they spent so much fucking time training, so much money, so much assets used in his training, the experience he has, and we're just going to blow their fucking heads off? Of course not. It deletes all the programs running, all the systems, and probably fries some components. Like, you fucking idiots.
Recently, Lavrov said at a news conference, space weapons and autonomous weapons will soon no longer be science fiction, but a possible reality. Mass said in an interview on Wednesday, we need rules that keep pace with the technological development of new weapon systems. Such deployments may also lead rival powers to...
What idiots. Anyways. Nino, what I don't get is everyone is banning TikTok. Why is this guy on it? And he works the Space Force. So I kind of beat around the bush of this. He does have a device that accesses Space Force or accesses TikTok, but I don't think it's not his primary cell phone. I would assume, and it's probably not the one he carries on base. A lot of people are worried about TikTok, but TikTok is where people's out. I've told you guys before, like, I understand if you don't want to download TikTok and you don't want to follow me on it. I got it. That's your choice. You do what you got to do, what feels good for you. But I have to be there. That's where people are. If you want to reach people, you have to be there. That's where people are. It's probably good if you want to be an ambassador somewhere and you're the only one that's on there. You know what I mean? Like, there's rules. His command approves of it, and there you go. Yes, how did the sea balloon get by you guys? No one was looking for it. If you've been to the moon, it wasn't filmed, and none of the footage I have seen looks real to me. Of course, because John Farmingdale is an expert on what footage would look like from the fucking moon. What he doesn't tell you is he's a 13th generation moonologist. And all the footage looks fake to him. Got it. Interesting video on the shape of the earth and why we can't explore all of Antarctica and what the government might be hiding. No. Oh, my God. No. Man, they keep coming out of the woodwork. Great information. I learned a lot. Thank you, Nino and Chuck. Finally a good one. That was the first good one we found. Okay. What about the Iona? Said, though, what about what Iona said, though, Nino? I don't know who that is. This guy is so full of shit. What a waste of an interview. Not surprised Nino had him on. Almost as bad as B.N. Polney. Seems bullshitty to me. If we have a firmament, solar flare, sun 96 million miles away, more lies. The low-lifer politician, Pelosi, 38 years in our government, John Kerry, 52 years, Maxine Waters, 46 years. What does this have to do with it? I knew it. We really did land on the moon. I guess that was positive. The Great Wall of China was built by Tartarians. The Caduceus was definitely a real rod. Ask Tiamat. Doesn't seem Space Force is that useful. By the way, this person is explaining everything I guess the U.S. is learning. I would hope we knew more about this. Not really. Caught him, Nino, on going to the moon. Laugh out loud. He didn't catch him. Nino doesn't understand. Just because he said it's inherently dangerous when we go that far, like to a different planet or a different moon. So how did we go? Well, we decided to take those risks. Paid propagandist. He's probably CIA. Dude said nothing of consequence. Ridiculous interview. No comment on the stolen election, Captain. I don't believe him. Gee, Nino, no Holocaust. Man on the moon. Earth is spherical. Falcott's pendulum. All you need. Good guess. Hope you are enjoying your red pilling. Laugh out loud. Great show, Nino. What an interesting interview. So there was some good ones, but they ended up all the way down at the bottom. Most of them were just people attacking Chuck for basically telling them the truth. Nobody's a fan of that. Guys, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow we're doing a couple different live streams in the Discord. For the Patreons, there will be a YouTube link, an unlisted YouTube link. Don't share the link. For a live chat hangout. For patrons, we'll also be doing one for all of the community as well. And starting about 7:30, hopefully, we're going to have our fundraising stream tomorrow for a charity. Okay, it's for Hope for the Day. They deal with suicide prevention, awareness programs to help people that are struggling with that thought. It's something that I personally struggled with. Like, I'm clinically depressed. I got PTSD. I've definitely had thoughts of suicide before. Not currently, but I have in the past. And it seems like a good cause. Please be here. Please support. Even if you can't donate, I understand that. Times are hard for people. I get it. But even just being here, make sure that someone else sees it, that you're engaging with the video, that something's going on. We did have one last dono clip that come in that I'm going to play. It's audio only from G. Let's check it out before we leave.
Get ready for the meat hammer.
Get ready for the meat hammer. This is like a boxer announcer.
Get ready for the meat hammer.
Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you for that donation and support from G. I appreciate you guys. Please be here tomorrow. I would greatly appreciate it. Even like I said, you don't have to donate, but we're trying to raise money for a good cause. So the more people that watch it, the better. There'll be a special link for it. You can see the donations coming in. I can't hide them from you or take them away. There's different rewards and fun things we're going to do tomorrow. Hang out. Come chill with us. We'll also do a couple community streams. I need to put out like an advertisement that'll be up in the morning that we're doing a stream for Hope for the Day. Hopefully we start about 7:30, and we'll do 4 or 5 hours. We'll at least go to midnight, probably longer. So thank you guys for joining us. Miss Priss says if you're requested to join the Meat Hammer Militia Telegram, check your Telegram messages. Join Discord if you want to be part of that tomorrow. And we'll see everybody on the next one. Thank you for joining us. And that's what Mariah hears every night, basically. She usually ignores it, though. Thank you, guys, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Definitely don't do anything with a 15-year-old if you're a 25-year-old baseball coach or whatever. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Vern. Yeah, I'm just glad you got a job. Don't worry about donating, man. Take care of everything at home, but I'm glad you got a job. That's awesome.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away.
Have a good one, guys. I'm out of here. See you tomorrow.
We feel betrayed.
Good deal, Vern.
We were